Merhabalar, hoş geldiniz öncelikle. Bugünkü seminer konumuz yurt dışında lise eğitimine karar verirken dikkat edilmesi gereken noktalar olacak. Burada katılımcılarımız var, okullarımız var. Okullarımız size kendi ülkelerinden, ondan sonrasında işte oradaki international öğrencilerin yaşadıklarından, genel olarak da uluslararası öğrencinin lise eğitimine başlamadan önce, yurt dışında lise eğitimine başlamadan önce dikkat etmesi gereken noktalardan bahsediyor olacaklar. Bütün konuşmacılarımız tabii ki yabancı olduğu için genel akış İngilizce olacak. Fakat yine bu sunumdan sonra, seminerden sonra eğer ki sorularınız olursa bu konuda, aklınıza takılanlar olursa zaten standlarımızda danışmanlarımıza sorabilirsiniz rahatlıkla. Aynı şekilde ben de zaten standta olacağım. Bana da sorabilirsiniz. O zaman şimdi yavaş yavaş başlamak istiyorum. Ben birazcık okulları da tanıtayım başlamadan önce. Kathy Ross bizimle olacak. Arda International Boarding School'dan. Orla Bradshaw bizimle olacak. IQ Schools Group'tan. Ondan sonra Monica Health bizimle olacak. Academia High School'dan. Jeremy Robbins, Brown Preparatory School'dan. Ve Asya Watsons da College Champitet'ten bizimle beraber olacak. Welcome guys.
Hello. Hello.
Hello. Today's topic is things to consider when deciding studying abroad. I'd like to start with Kathy from Brown Preparatory School. Kathy, what are your thoughts on considering when deciding studying abroad?
Sure. So when you're looking abroad, you want to make sure that the program really meets your needs. For example, BREM is a school that helps students with learning disabilities. So make sure that as you're looking, that school is really going to address the needs that you have.
Okay, thank you. So, and also, like, what would you recommend to the high school students who is planning a year abroad or like their whole high school education abroad?
Sure. Again, in addition to that program, look at the area. Make sure it's someplace you're going to feel comfortable and that it's easy to get to. My head of school, Jeremy, may have some other thoughts on that.
Jeremy?
Yes, thank you, Kathy. We're located, in fact, in the Midwest in the United States, in the state of Illinois, closer to Nashville, Tennessee, and Memphis than, in fact, Chicago. And one of the most important experiences for our students is the relationships they make with others, the relationships with peers, so friends and fellow students, the relationships with teachers, but also relationships with the families of fellow students, in particular those who live in the area. So I think that for students looking at studying abroad, really understanding what are the lifelong relationships you'd like to form, both with people your own age, but also others.
Okay, thank you. Well, actually, I'd like to switch to Turkish here and make a quick explanation. Aslında burada gerçekten çok önemli bir noktaya değinildi. Şöyle ki önemli olan şey yani bir yurt dışında bir lise eğitimine karar verirken aslında hani tamamen konuma ilk başta bakmamız gerekiyor. Çünkü bu konumdaki aslında etrafındaki insanlar, o bölgedeki aileler aslında bizim burada temel noktamız olacak. Yani bir okula tercih etmeden önce kesinlikle konumuna bakmamız gerekiyor. Thank you, Jeremy. Would you like to make any additions, like considering like a high school student who is planning to like study abroad, which is like actually quite a big and important step for those children and their parents. So what else that they need to check before? Orla, would you like to say something?
Oh, sorry, I had to mute myself and then unmute again because I had to talk.
Okay then. Well, Jeremy, would you like to make any additions, like for the students who's planning to study abroad? Like we have talked about like the relationships that they are going to build, the location of the school, and what else that they need to check before deciding which school that they are going to study.
Well, here at Brem Preparatory School, we often use the term healthy risks, meaning that students want to stay safe, but it's important to recognize that you won't have all the information about what to expect, and that's okay. So, of course, you want to make every preparation and know all of the information that you can in advance, but recognize that part of the experience is being in a situation where you might not know exactly what to say, or there'll be an uncomfortable cultural exchange. So to be open to that growth, and part of the experience, of course, is growth. And I can speak from my own experience, having studied abroad both in high school and then while university.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. So, could you kind of share your experiences with us?
Sure. So I grew up in New York, not in New York City, but north of New York City, and attended a boarding school in the state of Connecticut, which was a difficult step for me to move away from my own family. I began in my 10th grade sophomore year. And then the next year, I had the opportunity to live in Paris, in France, for a trimester of my school year.
Well, actually,
and I can tell you, when I say,
different country and complete different language for you.
and I can say, I was somewhat socially isolated when I was younger in middle school. I had a difficult time making friends. And the other students who were on that group who went to Paris, those are many of my lifelong friends. And I came back from that experience in many ways a different student. I was glad to see my family. I was glad to be back in the United States, but I also really had experiences that shaped my life. And created friends that I still connect with today.
Wow, actually, that's quite amazing. So probably all of the students who have like 1 year all their full education abroad is going to have that same experience. They are going to like face with that feeling of isolated. They're going to have troubles with making with friends at first, but after that, they're going to be coming back with their home country with like strong relationships and many, many amazing experiences.
Yes.
Those all are quite valuable. Thank you, Jeremy. So, Monica, well, what are your thoughts like on considering when deciding studying abroad, especially when you're a high school student?
Yeah, I actually prepared a presentation for you guys. I'm not sure if I can share my screen and just tell a bit step by step what should be considered, what I think is important, and I would share some information about the school if that's okay.
Yeah, that would be perfect. Thank you.
All right, so let me share the screen with you. Can you see anything?
No, not right now.
Not right now, okay. All right, now it should work.
Yes, perfect.
Great.
What are the reasons to start?
Yeah, I would say that the first question that may appear in students' head is, why would I consider going to high school abroad? So I'm telling you that there are some key reasons which are experience that you can enrich your resume and become more open-minded. You get a different perspective, so you can get a different way of seeing the world. You know, new culture and people from different countries, especially if this is international school. You can meet different countries, learn different languages, and meet people from all over the world. And you obviously learn responsibility when living on your own. And now let's go to the main question, what to consider when choosing a high school. First of all, you should consider what program you're interested in. If this is, for example, most popular IB or maybe A-level, which is more popular in Europe, especially UK. This is actually what our school, Academia High School, gives you. This is A-level. I would say the main difference is that you get 3 choices of subjects in A-levels and you get 6 subjects in IB, where 3 subjects in A-level are your choice and they are usually in one discipline. So you study what you like and what you need to study before going to the university of your choice, right? And in IB, you have to do different departments and 1-2 subjects from each. Both programs are taught in English, which is great, especially for when going abroad, right? Because this is English and almost everyone knows it.
Yeah.
And regarding to academic load, I would say that it's said here that it's low to high in A levels. I would say it's high in both, especially if it's a great quality school. You still need to work hard anywhere you are. And both of these exams, which is a common question appearing pretty often when candidates apply, will A-level be accepted worldwide? Yes, this is internationally recognized exam, and you can apply to any university in the world. Next,
Actually, yes. Sorry to interrupt, but I think one of the most important things for the student to consider is the program, because what you all explained in the previous presentation, this is quite different than the Turkish high school education system. So they need to be prepared that the program structure is going to be quite different than they have had during the years until now, and they should be prepared for all the differences. Thank you.
Yes, that's true. Even in Poland, in public schools, you don't have what A-level or IB offer, right? And
Exactly.
you probably will not meet Turkish program somewhere abroad. That's why I'm telling about those most popular ones in the whole world, right?
Thank you.
Okay, when you're choosing the school, I think this is pretty important to do some research and read interviews, search Google if there is any more information about it. But I think that the most reliable one is experience of alumni. So it's worth looking for those people, getting to know them and hear what they have to say about the school they attended, what it gave them, what experience it was. For example, our students call academia a pre-university university, which means that we gave them some experience that prepared them pretty well for studying abroad. And they also met lots of people from all over the world, which helped them to interact in future education when they went abroad. So here you have some experiences from our alumni.
Okay, so before deciding that which school that they're going to study, they really need to check the school's reputation, and they need to contact with the alumni or the current students maybe in order to decide that school is suitable for them or not.
Exactly. I think this is the best choice. And I have to say that 80% of our candidates are from, know about us from their friends who were learning at our school.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right now, I think it's pretty important to check health and safety measures.
The most important topic for the last year.
I know, this is our reality right now. So you should check if there is online learning or not, if there is a hybrid learning maybe, which is what we do now. We do COVID tests every week for all students, teachers, and staff. We have temperature measure at the entrance and masks available for everyone. Obviously, hand sanitizers, all that stuff. And I need to say that I was amazed with the reactions of our headmaster when COVID appeared in Europe. That was very fast, and we switched to online learning and admissions processes just within hours, actually. That was crazy time, but we did it, and we're doing great. So I think you should check that, just in case.
Yeah, actually, you're 100% right. Like before deciding which school to study, like in the COVID-19 times, like all the students should check what kind of actual like important updates that they do in the school to support their students about online education or hybrid education, or like what they are doing to keep the distance. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and then I thought that I could mention about what else except academic offer does the school have for you. I mean, this is academic as well, but recently it's not only A stars that you offer for colleges when presenting yourself as a great candidate, but what else you have to offer, what else you have done during those 4 or 2 years, depending on what entry point you will pick. So building your portfolio and doing something more like internships is pretty important. And this is, for example, in our case, PDS department, which is personal scheme, or we have career advisors who help students make great choices. That we organize different meetings with admissions from universities all over the world, who tell about their colleges, the admission processes, requirements, and everything. So students can ask questions. They are well informed, and they always make great choices. And we have career advisors for Europe and UK. I mean, UK is in Europe, but it's the main choice, I would say, for students so far. And the separates are for Canada and USA.
Well, actually, most of the students who choose to study their high school abroad, they wish to continue their education abroad as well, like in USA, in Canada, or UK, or in Europe. So actually, it is, I think, very important for a high school to have a careers advisor who is going to support them with their university applications and decide which university or which department is going to be the best fit for the students. I actually have one question about that. Like, let's say a student wants to study architecture in the university. Do you also support the students to create a portfolio as well?
Yes, we have very well-developed artistic department with special studios for them and special equipment. Whenever you apply to academia and you are coming to that step of choosing your A-levels, you may decide to choose history of art, 3D design, just art, photography, whatever you wish. And definitely there are teachers who are well educated in that area, and they help students build their portfolio and prepare works for their exams. For example, when we have a great big garden, there are some sculptures that our students prepared for universities applications. There are photography exposures on the walls around the school. So yes, we have both academic and artistic pathways at our school.
Oh, perfect. Actually, like, I have another question popped up in my mind about this. Like, I know that it is really hard to get an acceptance from a university in medicine course. And also, like, there are many tests that the students needs to take before submitting their applications, such as like UKCAT, BMAT, etc. So do you also like support your students to take the tests or prepare for their exams?
Yes, we do prepare for all of those exams, and we provide BMAT exams at our school. Regarding SAT, we do prepare for that, and we do that through our electives, which are not obligatory afternoon classes that students who are interested in applying to USA take, and we teach how to pass it.
Okay, perfect. So good to hear that. Thank you.
Yeah, so now just in short, I know that lots of people are interested in fees and scholarship opportunities. I need to say that a good school abroad with international program will never be cheap. You pay for high quality of education, and that's obvious. It will never be cheap, but we offer scholarship programs, and these are both artistic and academic pathways here. So you can apply for either this one or that one. And we do that once a year. The application process starts usually in the beginning of January and ends by the end of February. For example, today is the last day to apply for scholarship at Academia. And you may apply for up to 100% for tuition, for boarding, and for lunches, which I think is amazing opportunity, especially in such school. So yeah, regarding boarding, we are a boarding house offering living in a building with other international students and having a guardian. There are 2 separate wings for boys and for girls, single rooms with bathrooms, 1 social room, and so on. So the thing, if this is a boarding house, is one of the major aspects, I would say, when you are going abroad. So please make sure that a school offers something like that. Otherwise, you will have to live on your own or take a parent with you, probably, especially if you are under 18, right? The other thing that you might be interested in are prep courses for such schools, so you know teachers, other students, and requirements during such courses. I think summer schools are pretty interesting experience and a kind of trial for you. So you can treat it as a sample for a few days and see how we teach and what you can expect when you come to us. And very important thing for internationals is to check if school supports visa application, if there is a local mentor when you come here, if somebody will take care of you, and if there is a well-being department that takes care of your inside, let's say, because living abroad for young people might be hard sometimes, and such will happen, so you would need to have some help, obviously.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Yeah, that's it, what I had to say.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. And thank you for this amazing presentation. And actually, we can continue with Asya. Asya, I think you have also a presentation, right?
Yes. Yeah, just 1 second. Okay. Can you see my screen or?
Not yet.
Okay, sorry. What about now?
Yes. Right now we can see your screen. Yes, thank you.
Perfect. So hello everyone, my name is Asya. We are a Swiss boarding school for students from 11 to 18 years old. I think the presentation of Monica was very full, and a lot of things which are very relevant have been mentioned. So I just want to add a few other extra things. So of course, it's very important that the students find something for him or herself, that he likes the place, he likes the school, that there are activities available, the diploma programs available, but also many of the students, they choose the right boarding school because they then want to enter the best university in the world. And actually today I went on Harvard webpage and read a little bit what they are looking for their right candidates, and I think a lot of top universities, they have similar criteria. So a lot of universities, they want to see growth and potential in their candidates. So I think when you're looking for the right school, you need to see that the school can support you with constantly learning something new, that you can be a great student and get good academic results, but also help you to stay motivated and be hardworking towards your goals. And this is what a lot of universities want to see in their candidates afterwards. They also want to make sure that the students are having a lot of interest and they have been doing a lot of activities. So I think when you're selecting a boarding school, it's good to look at the activities available, what you can do there, that you can continue with your hobbies, that you can constantly learn something new, and constantly continue with your growth. And of course, a lot of universities are also looking into the personal character. What choices have they made and why? How open the student is to new ideas and people, how mature they are, have they done any leadership skills, any courses, about the energy overall. And I think these are the questions also the parents and the students have to ask to the school they're applying for boarding at the beginning. And also very important these days is contribution to the community. So it's important that the student is not only caring about themselves, but also thinking about how they can help and care about people around them and that can contribute to the community. So I think when you are selecting the school, it's important to look at the diploma program available. Can you then go with this diploma program to the university of your dreams? At Champite, for example, we offer free diploma programs, and one of them is the IB. So Monica also covered a little bit about IB program. So it's now recognized worldwide. And of course, I actually personally started in the UK, so I was raised in Lithuania, and then when I was 17, I moved to the UK and studied there for some time before I moved to Switzerland. So I remember I was also looking into the academic results, what is the pass rate, because it a little bit reassures you that you can also get good results. Of course, even if you select the best school but you don't do anything there, it doesn't mean that you will get the best academic results as well. You need to understand that you will have to work hard. But for example, at Champite, we have 100% pass rate, and our average IB result is 35. So it's something what shows to the families that we have good records, good history, and I would recommend families to look into that as well. Also, location is very important. If you are the student who really likes sports, likes to be outdoors, I would recommend looking into the sport fields which are there. Also, if you like to be in the community and sometimes go to the town, it's important to look into this aspect. If you're very cultural, it's important to know that there are museums and galleries in the area. And of course, if the family has a choice to firstly travel and visit the schools before applying to it is always the best. And I guess now with COVID, a lot of schools are doing virtual tours. So we actually have a virtual tool on our website where you can go and actually visit the whole school, the area, see the rooms, see the classrooms, which is very helpful as well. And as I was mentioning, a lot of universities want students to have a lot of interest, do a lot of activities. So a very common question from the families who apply to our boarding school is, what are the after-school activities available? Can the student continue with the hobbies? Can they try something new? So we try to offer not just sports, but also programming and coding, some yoga, some dance, some art classes, so that the student can always try and learn something new. And extra projects at school are also very important. For example, charity work or community work. At Champite, we have our own foundation. So we support the students in Cambodia, Madagascar, Thailand, and Switzerland. And while students are doing the academic program, they also can travel to all these locations and support the kids who are in need. And of course, they're doing it not only just because it looks good on their resume when they're applying to universities, but just because they actually do want to help, and it makes them more respectful and kind humans. I would say it's also very important to look at the nationality mix, that there are students from different countries, that you can make friends from different countries. And at Champite, for example, we have different 50 nationalities. living conditions, because the boarding school is your new home. So I guess if you have certain criteria about the room, the facilities, how it will all be, ask these questions, ask to send photos. Or, as I said, a lot of schools are now doing virtual tours, so you can actually see everything online. And also, I think it's important, if you're selecting a new country, to think, well, what else you could get from going to this country? What are other benefits? For example, if you come to Switzerland and complete a school here and then learn one of the national languages, which is either French, Italian, or German. We are located in the French part of Switzerland, so all our kids are learning the second language, which is always great. And with knowing the national language, you can get to the public universities. And in Switzerland, public universities, they are recognized worldwide, but also they're almost free of charge. So in a way, it's a great investment for families. They have selected a good boarding school, and afterwards they entered a good university. And then Switzerland is known for a very stable economy, so there are a lot of great jobs, very well paid. And I think coming for a boarding school and then being able to stay in Switzerland is also very attractive to families. Yeah.
Thank you, Asya, for this presentation and covering like the most important things while considering studying abroad. Orla, well, what are your thoughts on considering when deciding studying abroad?
So I think everybody's covered probably the most important areas on what to consider when studying abroad. First thing I always say to international students when they are looking at coming abroad, so I represent the UK, and I always say, why would you like to study abroad? I think it's important for the students to really understand what they want to gain from the experience. You know, is it to improve their language skills? Is it for a particular course? Is it to have an advantage in gaining access to the British university system? And then once they've established what the real reason is as to why they'd like to study abroad, they can then start looking into other areas. I think the education systems are very important to understand, as we touched on earlier. You know, the UK education system is renowned worldwide. It's the top education system currently, followed by USA and Australia. And I think that's one of the key areas that you need to focus on, but you need to understand these education systems to see if it will suit your learning as well. I think location is one of the key things. As always, you know, it's important to consider countries as a whole and not just the major cities. The gem of the school that you may want to attend may be hidden in a really small town or village somewhere that isn't a major city, and you might achieve so much from that institution, but because you've not considered the whole country, you might miss this institution. So I think it's really important to consider a country as a whole and really look into the areas, really consider what sort of area do you like? Do you want a city landscape, or do you want the mountain, sea? Do you want a mixture of everything where you have that possibility to be able to go and travel around the country whilst you're there? When you've finally pinpointed where you would like to study, I think it's really important to look at academic achievements that the school has, awards that the schools maybe have received in the past, but also to see what support that you'll receive as an international student, whether that be EAL support, pastoral support, or just cultural awareness workshops. Obviously, when you arrive in a country, it may be very culturally different and it may be quite difficult to settle in. I think it's always important to remember that all international students are in the exact same boat. So it is so easy to make friends when you do arrive at these institutions, because you're all having the same situation, and it's great to experience, share your cultures, and just start this new chapter in your life. Like Jeremy, I also studied abroad. When I was growing up, I studied in Portugal, and it was an amazing experience. I grew in confidence and I had a whole new opportunity to life. When I came back to the UK, it was different, and I almost was a new person because I'd learned so many different skills, gained so much confidence. And like I said, it was just a great opportunity. When you're looking at these institutions, I think it's important to consider the facilities that are available at the school, because you might be there for a particular sport, a particular course. You know, in the UK, there might be a sport that we offer that you've never practiced before or played before. You might want to try something new. So it's great to really consider the facilities. Each institution are going to have their own unique facilities. Middleton College, we've got a rock climbing wall. We really excel in outdoor learning. This is something that a city school might not have.
Right.
So like I said, really important to consider all options when looking abroad. Going back to the academic achievements, it's really important to know that you're going to receive the right amount of support with your UCAS applications. As we've already mentioned, getting into university is quite challenging. It's not exactly the most straightforward process. And it's really important that you have those experts there guiding you through the whole experience, from selecting your A-level options or your IB subjects to make sure you're meeting that entry requirement for those universities. But then to also make sure you're gaining the right experience, to make sure that personal statement is really shining through and putting you above all other students. You want to make sure you're being guided through the interview process and you're guided through the assessment. So really look into what support you will receive. Ask the questions. You're not going to find out maybe by just looking at the website. It's important to get in contact with all these people and really see what they can do that's different to each institution and how it suits your requirements. You really need to make your experience personal to yourself, because no two students are going to have the same journey the whole way through. It's going to be completely different. You all have different wishes. You all have different ambitions and desires. So it's important to really focus on yourself and go the right journey for yourself. Extracurricular activities are such an important part of the British education system, because we like all students to arrive at university as a whole student. Universities don't just like the academics. They like to see that you've gone above and beyond and you've tried different sports. You've been part of the school community. You've enjoyed the debating society, the science club, the art club, taken part in school productions. So it's important to look at the extracurricular activities and see if there's activities that are suited to you as well, and to see what different opportunities that you can have. So like I said, I just think it's really important to consider why you want to study abroad and what you want to achieve from the experience and gain from this experience. And then there you can go on and look into the other options that we've all talked about and go into more detail of location, facilities, academics, subject courses, and hopefully then you'll be able to select the right option for yourself.
Thank you, Orla. Actually, as you can imagine, as everyone can imagine, Oxford and Cambridge are quite popular in Turkey for students. But it is kind of impossible to get an offer letter when you are graduated from a Turkish high school. So that's why actually they go to the UK to study A-levels. So how do you support your students to get an offer letter from universities such as Oxford or Cambridge?
So we actually have a Oxbridge alumnus at one of our schools. She used to teach and did her research at Oxford University. So she's very experienced and very knowledgeable on the application process, and that is something that is brilliant and invaluable. It's amazing that we have her there at the school to support our students, but she really understands the different areas of the application process. As we all know, it's a very thorough application process, and you have so many different stages, from submitting your application to then being invited for an interview and the assessments. It's important to understand that you know all areas that are going to be covered. So our experts at the school will guide the student the whole way through, preparing them for the interview. They'll do mock interviews, they'll be doing mock tests throughout, guiding them on how to answer these questions, because there's a specific way of answering these questions and you have to do it in a specific time. So it's really important that practice is put in place. And this is the thing, it's important that you've got the team there to ensure that you are getting the correct support and the dedicated support to each application. Like I said, every student is completely different, and with all the different courses, it's going to be completely different as well. So it's important that you have that individual guidance the whole way through.
Okay, thank you. Thanks a lot. So, like to wrap it up, like we have talked about like the location, like which is the first thing that they need to check before deciding that they're going to study at that particular course, and like the nationality mix that we said, this is also quite important, and also like the diploma program that they're going to be involved, which is also quite important if they're going to study IB or A levels, and also like the projects and extracurricular activities that they're going to do. So do you guys want to add something more, like anything else that comes to your mind about considering while deciding studying abroad? Okay, I think like we have covered everything up, so I would like to make a final Turkish explanation about everything as well. Şimdi aslında ben burada konuştuklarımızı çok kısa şöyle bir Türkçe'de özetlemek istiyorum dinleyen öğrencilerimiz için. Şimdi birinci olarak kesinlikle konum kısmına çok fazla dikkat etmemiz gerekiyor. Önemli olan şey nerede okumak istiyorsunuz? Yani şehir insanı mısınız, yoksa biraz daha hani küçük bir şehir olsun mu istersiniz? Yoksa büyük şehirde işte hani bir binada okumak mı istersiniz? Hani şehrin bütün imkanlarına yakın olmak mı? Yoksa hani dev bir kampüste biraz daha hani büyük şehirden uzak bir yerde mi okumak istersiniz? Bu kısım çok önemli. Ondan sonrasında okulun çeşitliliği, millet çeşitliliği çok önemli. Sizin gibi kaç tane kaç ulustan international öğrenci olacak. Bu kısım çok çok önemli. Extracurricular activities dediğimiz hani ders dışında sizin yapacağınız şeyler işte yüzme olur, yoga olur, müzik, sanat gibi. Hani okul size ne sunuyor? Çünkü bazı okullar spor alanında çok çok iyidir, bazı okullar sanat alanında çok çok iyidir. Hani hangisi sizin ilginizi daha çok çekiyor? Aslında birazcık bunları kontrol etmeniz gerekiyor, bakmanız gerekiyor. Diploma program dedik, yine A-Level mi okuyacaksınız, IB mi okuyacaksınız? Hepsi uluslararası anlamda tanınmış. Fakat hani hangisi daha çok ilginizi çekiyor? Hani Monika zaten bu minik farklılıkları IB ve A-Level arasında sunumunda göstermişti. Ondan sonrasında bir onlara bakmanız gerekiyor. Projeler, ne tarz projeler yapıyor olacaksınız? Bu kısım çok çok önemli. Onun dışında hani herhangi bir sorunuz olursa zaten burada katılımcı bütün okullarımızı masalarımızda bulabilirsiniz, sorular sorabilirsiniz. Soruları görüyorum fakat bu soruları masalarda direkt olarak katılımlarımıza sormanız daha mantıklı olacaktır. Çünkü şu andaki konumuzdan birazcık farklı. Zaten masadaki danışmanlarımız ve okul temsilcilerimiz en iyi şekilde sizi yönlendireceklerdir diye düşünüyorum. Thank you guys for listening to me, even it's in Turkish. So I just wanted to tell the students like everything in like 3 minutes in Turkish. Thanks a lot for your presentation. Thanks a lot for sharing your thoughts with us today. And actually, like I'm going to end the seminar. Thank you all for your participation and have a great fair.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hi, everyone. My name is Bree, and thanks so much for coming to my seminar. I hope I'm live right now, but I'm going to dive right on into it. Let me figure out how to get this all set up. Oh. Give me 1 second, everyone. All right, I'm pretty sure you probably can see my screen, but I'm going to share mine. Hopefully you're able to see this. I don't know, but I'm going to go through. 1 second. I'm just going to double check you can see my screen. Okay, perfect. All right, so hi everyone again, and welcome to my seminar. My name is Brie LeBlanc, and I am here with Red Leaf Student Programs. I will give you guys a little bit about background about me. And as you can see, that is me. If you can't see me on the screen, here I am again. That is me in the summer. So I look a little bit different right now, and I'll get into that a little bit better. But since I am probably a stranger to a lot of you guys, I wanted to give a little bit of background information about myself before I get into talking, so that when you're swinging by the booth or you're chatting with me, you'll know kind of a bit more about me, so you don't think I'm just a complete stranger. So my name is Bree. I've been in the field for about 10 years working with youth and high school students of your age. I started way back when with like summer day camps and having students come and do that during the summertime and doing camping and canoeing and all of that. I worked with the government, so I worked with the city of Barrie, and I've went everywhere in the field of with the city of Barrie, from swimming to fitness to childcare to everything. But when my last contract with the city ended, I was bored and I wanted to travel. So then I went on board Carnival Cruise Lines, and I was the team director on board Carnival Cruise Lines for about 2 years. And so I got to travel the Caribbean. I got to stay in the warm weather. I got to hang out with a lot of cool teenagers and plan their programs and run their programs week after week for 6 months at a time. And I had a lot of fun with that. But when that was done, I knew it was time to come back to Canada, where I love to be. And I started this job with Red Leaf probably a little over a year ago. So yes, that's more about me, so you can kind of gauge who you're talking to, and what I'm all about. And so now I work with Red Leaf, and we are in Canada, as you know. So I decided to start out my seminar today with just some cool Canadian facts to get you started and to get you more comfortable with the idea of coming to Canada. So this is a map of our country, and it has all of our provinces and territories on it. So I'm going to start out with some facts. So the capital of Canada is Ottawa, Ontario. So if you go to Ontario here, there is Ottawa, which is right here, and that's our capital. I personally am right here. And if you drive from here to Ottawa, it's about 5 hours. So you can just see just how big Canada is. From here to there is a 5-hour car ride. So it's a very, very big country. So my second fact is Canada has 2 official languages, both English and French. Our province that is the most French speaking is Quebec, and that is right here. It's a very big province. Another fun fact that I'm going to add in right now is that the majority of our population lives along the coastline to the United States. So this whole bottom part is where the majority of our people live. So that's just a fun little fact as well. Our two national sports are hockey and lacrosse. A lot of people know about hockey. Not so many people know about lacrosse. It's a sport that originated from First Nations people. It's kind of like the summer version of hockey. However, it is played with like a pole, and you have like a net on the end of the pole, and you throw a ball from player to player. So it's fun. Our next one I kind of already mentioned, but Canada has 10 beautiful provinces and 3 wonderful territories. They're called territories up here, these 3, because they are just bigger in land. And it's kind of like a city has more people than a town. A territory has more land than a province. So the bottom layer here is provinces, and the top here is territories. And we celebrate Canada Day each year on July 1st since 1867, making Canada 154 years old this year. So on July 1st, we will be celebrating Canada. And my last fun fact for you today, guys, is that Canada is the 2nd largest country by land in the world, with Russia being the biggest, which I found that was a cool fact, and I really wanted to add it in. So those are all my fun facts. So let's get into the actual seminar topics now. I wanted to paint a picture for you guys today. I wanted to paint a picture of what it would be like if you were to come and you were to study here in Canada. So we're going to go on kind of like a little journey about living in Canada and the roadmap to what you would need and what aspects are involved when you're living in Canada. So that first topic is that, and then we're going to go through the Canadian high school system and what it's all about, with what your homestay accommodations would look like. Obviously, I'm here with Red Leaf, so I'll talk a little bit more about the programs that we offer, some benefits to that, and then we'll go over any questions that you may have. So if that sounds good, I'm going to dive right on into it. We're going to start off with living in Canada. So this was kind of my last slide I added in, but I think it's such a cool fact to know, but that when you come to Canada, one of the biggest things that we have here going for us is our seasons. We have such a distinct seasonal flow that it is so cool and unlike any other place that you would live. So we have 4 seasons. Right now, we're in February. We are in the dead of winter. So up here on the top, I'm pointing to my screen. We have winter, so we have lots of snow. The waters are all frozen. Here, I'll show you a picture. That's probably an accurate representation of just how much snow we have right now. It's cold, and it goes till about March, and then we hit the spring. The spring kind of is more light colors, flowers will start to bloom, the snow will start to melt, everything is bright, it smells, it rains a lot, it gets all muddy and fun, but the sun is coming up, the days are starting to get longer, and the flowers and trees are starting to grow back. And then when you hit the peak of June, we go into our summer weather. The sun is shining bright. We have hot, humid weather. It extends into the daylight hours all the way across Canada. And then that is our summer. And that goes till about, I'd say, probably September, end of September, until when everything starts to kind of get colder again, and the leaves start to fall off the trees. They all turn orange and red and yellow, and a lot of our Canadian roads look like this picture up here. So just if you look at those pictures up at the top, in one full year, you'll get all of these pictures, which is super cool to me. And that's just kind of a summary of what it's like to live here in Canada weather-wise. My second point I wanted to emphasize here is the different areas of Canada that we have. Like I mentioned, Canada is huge. We have so much land that it's only natural that it's split up into different parts and different types of places to live. So our first type of place to live is urban. So this is your cities. Your cities have all the tall skyscrapers. It's busy. You have a lot of different people, a lot of different kinds of people, a lot of different businesses. Basically, you could go out of your place and you could probably get to a food place within a minute. You could get your makeup, or you could get anything you need in probably under 5 minutes. It's very busy. It's very go, go, go. You have something to do all the time. And also, before, none of these are better. It's all in personal preference. This is just kind of how Canada is set up, and none of them are better than the other ones. So next one is suburban. So it's the suburbs. It's not as busy as the city, but it's still a city. There's less like skyscrapers, there's less apartments, more houses, but you could still probably get whatever you need to get, whether that be a mall, a department store, a grocery store, all within under 10 minutes. So then our third one we call rural. This is the countryside. There's more space between the houses. It's a lot of open land. Houses are typically bigger here, but there's not much option for, let's say, food places, or like I was mentioning, the other places I was mentioning before. But all have their perks, all have their benefits, all have their things that they're definitely different. Different settings, and it all depends if you're more of a city person or a country person. And that is only something you would know. So, like I mentioned, we do have our Canadian high school system, and I'm going to explain a little bit more about the high school system to you so you get more of an idea. So, here in Canada, our high school is 4 years long, which is from the grades 9 to 12, which is typically from the ages of 14 to 17, depending on when your birthday is. You could be 18 in grade 12 if you have an early birthday. But for international students all over the world, regardless of which type of school that you select, it will cost you to study, as our international department does cost to study here in Canada. So let's break it down a little bit more. There are 3 types of different high schools in Canada. So again, we seem to have 3 different types of things. So it's a lot of me explaining the 3 different types. The level of education that you receive, though, in each of these school types is the exact same. So I'm going to go in a little bit more. This allows students to choose based on the location and activities that they enjoy the most. Basically, what I mean by that is that wherever you choose to go here in Canada, whether it be public, Catholic, or private, which I'll explain a little bit more about in the next slide, all of the same, like the education and the curriculum that you're doing is the same. It's just how it's presented and the environment of the school, depending on what you're doing. So that, like I mentioned, gives the opportunity for students to choose if they like to go on the basketball team. It chooses if the students would like to go on in an arts course, and it chooses basically you decide basically what you want to do based on who you are as a person. So as I mentioned, let's get into the different types of high schools. Public and Catholic are very similar. And I'm going to compare those two, and then I'll talk a little bit more about private. So public and Catholic are both government funded. They're both open to the public. And I say public, but basically the difference between public and Catholic is the religious affiliation here. So in public, there's no religious affiliation, but in Catholic schools, there is a religious affiliation with Catholicism, and religion will be a school subject. Another big difference between public and Catholic is that students in public schools are able to wear their own clothing, where Catholic schools do wear a school uniform. And so now let's talk a little bit more about private schools. They're not funded by the government, so therefore they are typically more expensive. They are based on religion or learning style. And by that, I mean, they might be Catholic schools in the private sector, so they choose to go off and branch out on their own. But it also might be by learning style. We have certain learning styles called Montessori or learn to play or learn through play, where basically kids and students are learning through playing outside or whatnot. So it depends, and clothing will vary based on your private school. I feel like a lot of them and majority of them do have school uniforms, but you never know, and it really does depend on what you're looking for in the private school that you select. So with that, as I said, we are painting a picture today. You have a place to go to school. You know what the seasons are going to be like. You have went through basically what the high school system kind of does look like. Where are you going to live? I'm going to mention a couple. I'm going to focus in on one specific one that through research has has basically gotten the most positive reviews. So when you come to Canada, you can stay in a student residence, and that is cool. It's dorm style. It's very fun. You'll stay with other students that are doing the exact same thing as you. But the one that we are going to focus on right now is our host family accommodation, because it is proven that you will get a better experience if you stay here with a host family through just different reviews and research. So a Canadian host family stay basically will make your time more rewarding for both the student as well as the family. So let me explain a little bit more about that. So some of the benefits of this: you'll get placed with an individual host family who has asked to host an international student. So your first thing is that they've asked and they've reached out and they want to host you. They want to have you in their house. So you'll get a more authentic experience. These people have been background checked. They are safe families. They are lovely families, and they are wanting to give you the most authentic experience. They have probably lived in Canada for the majority of their life. You're going to get the experience that you want, and you're going to get an experience that you may not know that you want. You might come to Canada and be like, I want to see the CN Tower in Ontario. And okay, that's something normal. Everyone wants to see that. It's a very big tourist destination. But when you stay with a host family, you might get to see things that you don't know about, or you'll get to go to places that only local Canadians would know about, and then you will get to a better, more authentic experience. The host family stay is also most affordable. You're not staying in this hotel, you're staying in an actual home, and therefore the costs are offset because you're staying in someone's home and they have a room for you. And we'll talk about that a little bit more later. But it'll provide you a more comfortable stay and ability to practice your English more. Some host families, you'll have a host brother or a host sister that may be around your age, might be younger, might be older, but you'll be able to talk English because you won't be with other students that are speaking your native tongue, and you'll be able to practice your English more, and they'll be able to help you develop kind of the skills that you want to develop while you're here. So you'll get a very personable experience. Which segues into my next fact, which is going to be about our Red Leaf programs here. So I was talking about host family stays, but now we're going to switch over into what programs that we offer in Red Leaf, and then we'll get to talk a little bit more about the homestay once again a little bit later. So our academic year program is personally my favorite program. I don't know why it's my favorite program. It just is. It's fun. The students are always a fun time. And as it's mentioned in the title, the academic year program is for students who want to come for a year, or we do break it down into semester. So students will come, like I mentioned, for 1 or 2 semesters. We are a semestered system, so it's 5 months at a time. So you can either stay for 5 or 10 months. These program dates are a little more set than some of the other programs that we'll talk about later. So that you either start in late August, early September, depending on the school year, or you start in January, early February if you're only coming for one semester, and all of them end in June. So this is also for ages 11 to 18. So we do offer it for grades 7 to 12. There are schools called middle schools here in Canada where they do go lower from grade 9 in that 4-year high school experience we were talking about. They do branch out to grade 7 in some certain schools. So if you do have somebody that's in grade 7 or in grade 8, you can definitely reach out and we can make something work. There is specific school boards that do that 100%. So yeah, that's a little bit more about what the academic year program looks like. And naturally, you're probably thinking what's included, and don't worry, I'll go over all of it. It looks like a lot right there. It is a lot because a lot is included in it, but I will make it make sense to you if it does look a little stressful. So our first thing is an attendance at an exceptional Canadian elementary or high school. We can put middle school in there as well, but it is included. Like mentioned before, all-inclusive host family accommodation. And when I say all-inclusive, I mean all-inclusive. Sounds like a vacation. Basically, you'll get all-inclusive 3 meals a day. You'll get your own bedroom. You'll get a bathroom, whether that be a shared with a host sister or host brother. You'll get a bathroom. You'll get all of our host families have like backyards, and everything is all-inclusive. You'll get your validation of credits. So anytime when you attend that elementary or high school, you will get validation that you actually were here, you studied, you passed, and you'll get a validated diploma or transcript, whatever the school calls for. You'll also get a Red Leaf custodianship for your visa, if you need a visa to come in here into the country. You'll get local coordinator support, and I'll touch on this in a couple slides, but each of our cities, we work with dozens of cities, okay? So in our cities, we have access to hundreds of schools. So we're not just one school, we have like dozens of school boards that we work with here at Red Leaf. And so within those dozens of school boards, there is dozens of schools. So we have access to this plethora of different schools. So there's no way that we won't find a high school that's absolutely perfect for you, and based on what you like, what school goals you have, and what you kind of just want to see. But anyways, in each of those cities, we have a local coordinator, somebody who lives there, who has lived there forever, and who will be in constant communication with you about your grades, about your activities, about your experience as a whole with your family, with just how you're doing, checking in on you, making sure you're okay. And they will send myself in our office, 3 detailed reports to send to your natural families to make sure that you are feeling okay, you're doing okay, any goals you want to reach on, like while you're here, any teams you want to make, it'll all be included in that. And you'll be able to kind of get a grasp of just the full experience. What is also included is a school uniform if required. Like I mentioned, public schools, you won't have to wear one. But Catholic and potentially private, you will have to wear one, and that's included as well in our price. And a fun fact about Red Leaf is that we do have our very own 24-hour, it says emergency there, but it is just support. Like students are like encouraged to call it at any time if they have any problems and they don't know who to talk to. We do have an emergency phone 24 hours, 7 days a week, and somebody on our team will have it. And funny enough, I actually do have it right now. This is my regular phone. If you can see it, I don't know, I can't see myself. And then this is our emergency phone. And so if it rings, it's an emergency. But just kidding, all of my students that are here right now have no issues, and that phone does not ring as much as, I don't think you'd want it to ring. So it doesn't ring very much, but that is a good sign. Our next program is our high school experience program. This one is fun and as well. It's just depending on what you are looking for your experience, I guess. So a little bit of details about our high school experience program. the duration is 4 to 16 weeks. So if you do that in months, if that's easier for you, which it's easier for me, that's 1 to 4 months. Basically, anywhere under a semester. And these program dates can be more flexible because you're only coming for a month or 2 months or whatever. You're able to kind of pick when it works for yourself. So anywhere from September to the end of May, you're able to pick in your week slots. We just don't we ask that you don't come around the end of May to June time because our students are in exams, and it'll make more sense as to why in a second. But this is also offered for 11 to 18, which is grade 7 to 12 as well. Basically, what's included in this, you'll see that there is some differences, but they're all basically the same. You'll still get your attendance at the high school, of course, and no doubt about it, you will get the all-inclusive host family accommodations, 3 meals a day, everything all-inclusive. The custodianship will still come your way. That local coordinator will still reach out and check in. Will also give like mad support and awesome support. You will still get that uniform, and you will still be able to call the emergency support number. However, the only thing that's not included, because you are not coming for long enough to go over an exam period, you won't get validation for your credits, and you won't earn credits in this experience because it truly is just an experience for you to come to Canada, to integrate into the high school, to integrate into the family. You're able to kind of just get that experience short term, and then maybe in the future, who knows, you come back for a year. We have students right now that came in a year or so ago, and they came for a couple months, and now they're here this year, they're coming again next year, and they'll get validation for all of their credits, but you never know. They loved it so much that they wanted to come back. So that is the only thing that's not included with high school experience, just because of the time frame you're coming in. That's also why you're not allowed, or able to, not allowed, you could, but it doesn't make much sense. You won't get the best experience if you come for the exam time, because you don't have to take the exams, which is awesome. So I'm going to talk about now a few benefits to our specific programs for Red Leaf. I find these super cool, and I've probably mentioned a few of them, so forgive me if I repeat myself, but I just want you guys to see just how beneficial it is to come to Canada, be here, and come with Red Leaf, and come through and see all of our faces. So I have mentioned it is extremely customizable. We do have access to dozens of school boards, and therefore hundreds of schools. So if you want to take the IB program, which is International I can never say baccalaureate program, we're able to find a school that does that, but also puts you on a basketball team. So we're able to customize it to your specific needs. And we have our own platform of families that we work with. Our families are all extremely background checked. It's all very customizable to you. In hand with customizable is personal touch. We base our placements on the individuals and place them with the best families that we have for them, as mentioned, and which falls into my next fact of airport pickup. They will be majority of the time the people who pick you up from the airport. So from the time that you land in Canada, and even before with your agent and communicating, a Red Leaf staff will be in contact to make sure that your stay is easy as possible. Another cool thing about our Red Leaf programs is that, let's say, I don't know, somebody in your host family gets sick the day and the time that they have to pick you up. That's not a problem, because one of us, like me specifically personally, or one of our team members will drive, pick you up at the airport, and take you to your house. There's not a doubt in my mind. We are such a big family here, and we will, it's so customizable, and very much we will be there for you. Which also waterfalls over into my next fact. If you are worried about the language barrier here with Red Leaf, we do have our Turkish staff member on our team. So there is no language barrier. If you are having trouble speaking with your host family, you just give us a call, and we have that Turkish team member that would gladly be able to help you out. Her name is Celine. If you saw her speak yesterday, she's great, and she will treat you like you are her child. So she's a great asset to our team, and also a great asset to you, because she speaks Turkish, and that is super awesome. And I should learn from her, maybe. And as I've also mentioned before, we also do have that 24-hour phone number that is always on, always charged, and always ready to help. But, oh, that's not a very nice screen. So let's get on into it. As I mentioned here, it's extremely customizable. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about some of the documents that you will receive through your agent, but also from Redleaf specifically. So I'm going to go through 2 documents with you. The first one is your host family profile. I'm going to break that down for you. I'm going to show you what you're going to get when you go through Redleaf. So this is the family profile that you will receive. This is exactly the document. This is it. So you'll get a little message from Redleaf, and it'll have your name here. If you can see my mouse, it'll have the program that you're in, and it'll have pictures of your host mom and dad, or your host mom, your host family. It'll have that. It'll say what they do, their phone numbers, how to contact them. And then below, it'll have their social media, so you're able to contact them that way. It will mention which is the easiest way, which is nice. So you don't have to kind of guess, being like, I wonder if they'll message me on Facebook, or I wonder if they'll WhatsApp me better. It'll tell you if they like email, if they like Facebook, whatever they like, it'll tell you. You'll also be able to kind of be able to look up the exact address of your host house. That way you can see, I don't know, if there's a cute little coffee shop or a cute place to get, like a mall near you. So you can look up the address, and you could go on Street View. I know I like to do that, go on Street View and see kind of how it looks before I come or before I go. So that's a really cool thing about it as well. I've mentioned our local coordinators in our cities. It'll tell you a little bit more about that person depending on where you are. And therefore, you'll be able to email them. They're going to kind of be your first communication if you have anything to talk about, or other than your host family. Like if you have any issues, whether that be with school, you'll reach out to your local coordinator, and they'll be able to answer all of your questions. And if not, then they'll come to myself. So it'll tell you a little bit more about them and their experience as well. So you know that they're not just some random person. So that's really cool. Then on the second page, this is kind of where it gets into Airbnb-ish vibes. It'll tell you the family members. Like I mentioned, if you have a host sister or a host brother or a host brother dog, it'll tell you where and what they look like. They'll include some pictures of them hanging out, and things that they like to do, whether they like to go on nature walks. This family seems to like to go spend a lot of time in the community. They like to spend time at the farmers markets and local festivals. And they like to go skating, which I assume they mean ice skating. So that's something that maybe some of you guys haven't done, which is super fun. I've been skating all winter because it's been keeping me busy. Basically, you'll get to see what they like and what they enjoy. If they have any dietary restrictions, that's also a thing that we are able to accommodate for. Any medical or dietary restrictions, just tell your agent, and we can do our very best to work around it and work through it, because we do have such a big amount of options for host families. There is going to be a family that works with your specific restriction or exceptionality or whatever it is. We have those families in our system for that reason, for you to come. So then when we choose a perfect host family for yourself, we'll have them write a letter to you. So they address you, and they tell you a little bit more about kind of what they like to do in their own personal words, because it gets a little bit just more personal. On the third page, you'll get to actually see photos of the inside of the house, which is really cool to me. And you can go through and you can kind of see what's available. Obviously, you'll have heating. Obviously, you'll have air conditioning. But if you have, let's say, a family computer in the living room, they'll mention that. It'll have a little icon there. Wi-Fi. and then it breaks it down room by room as to what's available and where you'll be actually living. So exactly like Airbnb, as I mentioned, is there. And on the fourth and final page, you'll get reviews from other students, and they get to rank them out of 10, which is super cool. You'll see what nationality they were, and just how many students have like stayed there before and what they said, what they liked to do. And then also over here, what program they were in. So we do offer different programs here for English and Homestay. And I think in 2 hours, or maybe close to an hour now, my other coworker, Nathan, will be talking about our summer program. So go check that out for sure. I'm flying through. Our next document is going to be your school profile. So you've gotten your family profile, and now where are you going to go to school? Redleaf will send you this document, which outlines basically everything about the actual school specifically you're attending. This is in the Halton Catholic School Board. So this is what a Catholic school board profile would look like. It has the school board that you're staying in, the name of the school here and which city it's in. Then it'll have like a little picture of the outside of it, so you can kind of see it's kind of like street view. And then down here it has some highlights. So it'll go over basically if there's any specific programs that are really important to that school, such as I'm pretty sure this Assumption offers different advanced placement levels and different courses. So basically we highlight any of the highlights. It says it in the name. In the second paragraph, it'll go over clubs and sports teams. Here at Redleaf, I feel like that is probably our most, that's something that's so important to me. We want you to have a good time when you're here. We want you to enjoy yourself. We want you to look back on the experience you had in Canada and be like, wow, that was so much fun, because it is such a fun place to live in and it's such a fun place to be in. So we want you to join extracurriculars. We want you to join the sports teams, join the drama club, I don't know, attend the different extracurriculars that are here. So it'll go through literally everything. So this place has a hockey team, a swimming team, curling, golf, soccer, but also does like academic quiz teams, and they do like mock trials if you're interested in law, if you're interested in other stuff like that. And then on here on the side, it'll tell you just like more factual information. So like if you want to know when it was founded or how many students it has, and if they offer like ESL, like English as a second language support, that'll all be checked off here. This is a really good school, just a fun fact. And then I'll have the address. So if you did want to do your own research, you can look that up as well. And on the second page of this document, we'll break it down, the school board specifically, how many students they have in their school board, where the school board encompasses, a lot of the times the question is, how close is it to Toronto? And so a lot of our school profiles will have a map showing the distance between Toronto and the said school board. So basically, then it'll break it down into the community. So it's this far away from Toronto. In this case, I feel like it's like an hour and a bit away from Toronto. But it'll break it down the city. So if you're one of those people who do like to get involved in the community, you can see what the community itself looks like. And you can see if it is a countryside, an urban, or a rural, or a suburban area that you'll be living in. Burlington itself specifically does have beautiful lakefront and lots of good hiking and walking opportunities for the weather when it's nice out, but also when it's snowing out. There's something about a winter walk that just is, it's so good. Another point to mention that I love on these sheets is down here, it says the average temperature. So speaking of that, you can kind of see the variance of how different the weather is, which is super cool. So yeah. I think that's everything. I probably went through very fast. So if you guys have any questions, you can pop by our booth at this booth, Redleaf Academic Programs, or you can take note of the email address down there, send me an email. I think I should be able to get off of this slide and go back and see if there's any questions. I'm going to try to do that after I go to the next slide. But if you have any other inquiries about the application process or anything after this fair or anything, just reach out to your Endless Abroad agent. but and also swing by our booth now. So I'm going to try and stop sharing. I don't know how to stop sharing. Oh, stop sharing. So I think you won't be able to see me now. Okay. So question 1, I think this is good. I want detailed information to be in high school in Poland, America. I can definitely send you information. If you pop by our booth, we can definitely get you specific information about what you're interested in. Do we have scholarships? Our answer to that is that because we work with not just private school boards, our prices are already the exact same as if you would get a scholarship for a private school as well. So our prices are already at the level that they should be. I think I'm seeing them. I don't know if. Okay, yes, perfect. I think that's all of our questions right now that I have. But thank you guys so much for watching. Sorry if I was a little fast. Sorry if I stuttered and you didn't understand. But if you didn't understand and want clarification, just swing by the academic booth now, and I'll be there to answer any other questions if you just didn't want to type them now. But thank you very much, guys, and I hope you have a great day.
Herkese merhabalar. IHSO Yurtdışı Eğitim Lise günlerimizin online olarak gerçekleştirdiğimiz 3. yılımızda 2. günümüze tekrardan hoş geldiniz. Bugün yurt dışında lise eğitimi almanın önemi konulu seminerimizde çok değerli misafirlerimizi ağırlayacağız. İsterseniz kendilerini de çok bekletmeden yavaş yavaş isimlerini söyleyerek odaya almak istiyorum. Aynı zamanda da seminerimiz boyunca aklınıza takılan tüm soruları chat kısmından bizlere danışarak rahatlıkla konuklarımıza yöneltebilirsiniz. Seminerimiz İngilizce olarak gerçekleşecek. Ancak rahatlıkla sorularınızı Türkçe olarak da yazabilirsiniz. Burada tercüme ederek sizlerle cevapları buluşturmaktan memnuniyet duyacağım. İlk konuğum Florida Property School'dan Safiya Danili.
Hello.
Hello, Safiya. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing well too. Would you like to introduce yourself first?
Yes, my name is Safia. I'm from Florida Prep. I've been here for 7 years. I'm the director of admissions here at this academy, and I'd be happy to share some information with everybody. I know that this is a very difficult process and a lot of things to consider. So I'd be happy to walk anybody through the process to let them know what they need to think about.
Yeah, we all been in really difficult days, I guess. This is
Yes.
maybe the most possible way to get in touch with everyone. So let's get in touch with other participants and have some fun and conversation with everyone about importance of international high school education.
Yes, perfect.
İkinci konuğum Layton Christian Academy'den Paulo Franco. Hello, Paulo. How are you?
How are you? Good morning.
Good morning to you. How are you? Everything all right? Can you hear us, Paulo?
I'm sorry?
Okay. Just I had some difficulties to see you and hear your voice, but I think we sorted out some connection problems.
Yeah.
So everything seems clear right now. Would you like to introduce yourself to us?
Sure. Yes. My name is Paulo Franco. I'm director. I'm international program director here from Layton Christian Academy.
Right.
A school here in Layton, Utah, and we work 150 kids, students studying with us. Third year in our school, this is very important. So we have people all over the world here with us. We're really strong in our sports too. We have all the sports here. Actually, last week basketball state for the boys. Very, very nice. And yeah, we are here to try to talk with you, see if we can bring some people here.
That's brilliant. Thank you so much. I need to get in other guests for our seminar. So let's get in King's Education, İlknur Öner. İlknur Hanım, beni duyabiliyor musunuz?
Ben sizi duyabiliyorum. Hello.
Hi.
Duyabiliyoruz. Thank you. How are you, Şevval? It's good to see you.
Good to see you again. I think we just passed a great IG seminar in Instagram, and like just passed our roles again here.
Yeah. It's been wonderful to speak with the students, with the parents, for the last 2 days. It's been very fruitful for us, and I hope this seminar is very useful for the students as well.
For sure. Could you please introduce yourself to us? I know, of course, you battled,
Yeah.
you know.
Sure, yeah. My name is İlknur Öner, and I've been working for King's Education as the regional manager for Turkey for the last 3 years. And I've been in international education industry for 12 years. So I've recruited students to high school programs, international education abroad programs, language programs. So I have experience in international education industry. So I'm glad that we're going to share our ideas during this seminar.
Great, thank you so much. So the fourth guest is New Horizons Education, Asuman Türkokur.
Hello everyone. Herkese merhabalar. Hello dear parents, dear students. My name is Asuman. I'm the founder and director of New Horizons Education, which is based in London. I've been doing my business for the past 6 years, and before that I was an English teacher back in Turkey. So I'm both a teacher and a parent to 2 daughters who are currently in British education system. So I work with more than 200 boarding schools, only British boarding schools. And I promote these boarding schools and the programs that are offered by them, the summer school programs, to Turkish students and families. And I was told that I could give this talk in Turkish, since most of the audience is Turkish students and Turkish families. So I don't know how it's going to work. I'm happy to do it.
I will give for all of my guests for a private conversation with the participants. So you will have like 5 minutes to talk with everyone to tell your story, answer questions. So you can do it in Turkish as well. But to have a mutual conversation, I prefer to do this in English language, but it depends to you. I want to put everyone's reactions on the same topic. That's why I prefer to talk in English, but that's fine. If you wish to say something to parents and students, you're very welcome to talk in Turkish language as well.
Okay, thank you.
So my final guest is, he will join us from Canada. So UMC High School, Can Bulat Özkurt.
Hello everyone. Good morning, good afternoon.
Good
Merhaba
afternoon.
herkese.
Merhabalar.
Merhaba.
So, Mr. Özkurt, could you please introduce us yourself?
My name is Can Bulat.
School.
My name is Can Bulat. I'm the regional coordinator for UMC High School for Middle East. And we are a private high school in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. And we are looking forward to enroll more students from Turkey after this fair as well.
So great. Actually, mainly our main reason to come together with all of our participants to give some inspirational stories for our students and their parents, because we all very well know about what is the main importance is about international high school education, especially for the Turkish students, because mainly we talk with the Turkish students and their parents for these 2 busy days. I hope you all enjoyed our fair and enjoy to finally get in touch with some students, still with the virtual environment, of course. But I would like to give you separate 5 minutes to talk about mostly on the importance of this subject. And also, if you have any life-changing stories with your students, please feel free to share with us, because all of our students and parents come together for this event for 2 days to get some tips to studying abroad, especially for high school education. But they are also very curious about what they will have in the future, what they will gain, what they will live, and what is the main aspects of the studying in international high school education, especially in your related countries. Safia, for example, you're based in USA. could you please start your speech with maybe inspirational stories or whatever you
Yeah.
wish?
Oh, yes, for sure. So we are actually in Melbourne, Florida. So that is about 45 minutes southeast of Orlando. So we have the Atlantic Ocean 10 minutes from our school. We have NASA about 45 minutes from our school. So we're really nice and centrally located. So I would really encourage that if a student is looking to study, whether it is in Canada, whether it's in the US, wherever in the world they're looking for, location is really important. What are you looking for? Are you looking for a big school, a small school, all boys school, all girls school, strictly a high school? So our school, for example, is grades 5th all the way to grades 12. And something that I really like about our region is that the weather is really beautiful here. It is normally about 28 degrees Celsius, about average. Here in Melbourne, Florida, and of course, us being so close to the beach, that's really nice because we are able to go over there every now and then. Sundays, actually today, and when we take our students to the beach. And so it's not that our school is always just fun, but
Yes.
it is really nice to be able to have that location that is important to students. Maybe they are looking for a big city or a small city. Our school is in a medium-sized city. And the nice thing about Orlando being so close to us is we can study here. It's nice and quiet. It's a nice family environment. But when we're ready to have a little bit of fun on weekends, Orlando's not too far from us. So we are able to take a drive over there, go to the malls, go to the theme parks. So we're really able to get the best of both worlds with us being located in this central Florida area. And then, of course, the airports are very close to us too.
When you consider on the main importances of international high school education, I mean, of course, it's great to get more information about your school, but I would like you to consider about the advantages and maybe disadvantages that you may aware of.
Sure.
Feel free to share your thoughts with the students.
So I think one of the big advantages is the experience that a student gets when coming to a high school. I think what's really nice about that is they're starting to get used to living away from home. They're going to start learning some life skills. So when it is time to go to university, it's not a big shock for them, because I would rather they invest in a high school and for their kids to get those skills out, learn how to wake up on time, learn to go to the dining hall, as opposed to when they go to university. And that's a big investment, just to find out that maybe their student wasn't really ready to go to university yet. Because here, when they're still high school students, we as adults are able to tell them, okay, we need to make sure we get to class in time. We need to make sure that weekends you're doing your homework. We're not going to be able to do that when these kids go to university. So I rather us be there for them when they're younger, so that they start to establish that discipline, that structure, so that when they go to university, it's a nice, smooth transition. We actually had a student a couple years ago. They went to university for the first time, their first year. So we asked them, like, oh, they came back to our academy to visit. So we asked them, so how was your first year of university? How did it go? And she was like, it was okay. We're like, what happened? What do you mean it's okay? So she said, well, all these kids, they wake up late, they get to school late, they don't turn their homework in on time. And she said, that's what you guys taught me at your school. So when I went to university, I didn't have to do all this kid stuff of learning how to do that. I knew how to do it already. So no one had to tell me. All these kids wasted their parents' money. They wasted their scholarship money. They lost their scholarships because they didn't have that discipline in them. So I really do appreciate that in boarding schools, private schools, you are able to learn those skills so that you're making sure that's a smart investment.
Great. Yes, I love this word, smartest investment for their lives, for the high graduation. Huh?
Yes, exactly.
Thank you for sharing your story with us. I would like to give another 5 minutes to Ilknur. I'm pretty sure that she has really great stories with the Turkish students. She's doing well in Turkey for more than 20 years, as she said.
Yeah. If that's okay, because probably most of the participants are Turkish, so I'd like to do it in Turkish, like Asuman
I
said.
would like to interrupt you and to give my apologies to Safia and Paolo because of the Turkish language.
Yeah,
Before we
so
started
apologies in advance.
the session, I asked my operation team to get their permission to do this seminar in Turkish, and they say to me that it needs to be a mutual conversation and we need to proceed some steps and blah blah. I of course prefer to talk in Turkish language to reach more students. Unfortunately, in Turkey, we mostly talking in Turkish language, and the English language level is not pretty well. Probably you aware of when you try to contact with the students in English. I'm pretty sure that you have a great conversation with the students, but when we back to the facts in Turkey, it's always better to, if you can, it's always better to proceed your conversation in Turkey. So please take your time and talk in Turkish, and
Okay, thank you. Thank you and apologies. Şevval Hanım, sizin de çok iyi bildiğiniz gibi King's Education olarak yaklaşık 65 yıldır uluslararası öğrencilere eğitim programları sunuyoruz. Hem İngiltere'de hem Amerika'da merkezlerimiz bulunuyor bizim. Genellikle Türk öğrencilerimizin tercih ettiği lise programları İngiltere ağırlıklı. Tabii ülkenin çok da yakın olmasından kaynaklı bu. Biraz daha aileler kendilerini muhtemelen daha güvende hissediyorlar. En azından uçak yolculuğunun daha kısa olmasından kaynaklı. İngiltere'de 4 tane merkezimiz var. Londra'da, Brighton'da, Bournemouth'ta ve Oxford'da okullarımız bulunuyor. Hem İngiliz öğrencilerimiz var, hem domestik öğrencilerimiz var, hem de uluslararası öğrencilerimiz var İngiltere'deki merkezlerimizde. Lisenin ilk 2 yılından itibaren Türkiye'deki sisteme göre anlatacak olursak, lisenin ilk yılından son yılına kadar İngiltere'de veya dönemlik olarak veya yıllık olarak eğitim programlarına öğrenciler katılabilirler. Biz tabii bu eğitim sistemi biraz da İngiltere'de farklı olduğu için GCSE eğitimi ve A-level eğitimi olarak söyleyebiliriz. Lisenin ilk 2 yılı bizdeki sisteme göre GCSE eğitimi alacak öğrenciler 14-16 yaş arasında, A-level'da da 16 yaştan sonra 16-18 yaş arası da öğrencilerimiz A-level eğitimi alacaklar. Benim son zamanlarda gözlemlediğim açıkçası giderek yurt dışına öğrencilerin gitme yaşının düştüğü. Söylediğim gibi 2009'dan beri ben bu işi yapıyorum ve genellikle bizim ağırlıklı öğrencilerimiz lisansüstü öğrenciler veya dil eğitimi için gitmeyi tercih eden öğrenciler olurlarken özellikle son 2 yılda, son 3 yılda bu yaşın giderek lisenin ilk yıllarına doğru düştüğünü gözlemliyoruz. Çünkü biz hep şey deriz, Türk aileler 14 yaşında çocuğunu göndermek konusunda çok her zaman kendilerini güvende hissetmezler, konforlu hissetmezler. Fakat tabii Türkiye'deki eğitim sistemindeki bazı aksaklıklar, aksamalar, sistemin çok değişiyor olması biraz daha velileri daha iyi bir eğitim alması için özellikle İngiltere özelinde yönlendirdiğini düşünüyorum. Burada bizim de tabii ki sizin de söylediğiniz gibi Türk öğrenci sayımız da oldukça fazla, özellikle A-Level programı için. Yani lisenin son 2 yılını en azından Türkiye'de değil de İngiltere'de eğitim alsın diye öğrenciler genellikle ve aileler bu şekilde düşünüyorlar. Bu yıl ve geçtiğimiz yıl tabii ki biraz bu Covid döneminde aksaklıklar oldu, sınavlar iptal oldu, okulların verdikleri GCSE notları öğrenciler için geçerli sayıldı vesaire. Fakat buna rağmen öğrencilerimizden çok güzel sonuçlar aldık. Özellikle A-Level öğrencilerimizden tabii biz Foundation programları da sunuyoruz. Sadece A-Level değil, lise seviyesinde değil, liseden mezun olduktan sonra da öğrenciler iyi bir üniversitede eğitim almak isterlerse Foundation programı alıp çok iyi üniversitelere yerleşebilirler. Yani ilk 25'teki üniversitenin 21'ine Foundation programıyla da yerleşebilirler ama Oxford gibi, Cambridge gibi, Imperial College gibi, University College London gibi geleneksel İngiliz üniversiteleri yalnızca A-Level programından öğrencileri kabul ederler. Foundation gibi uluslararası öğrencilerin gittiği programları tercih etmezler. Bu anlamda bizim de Türk öğrencilerimizden iyi üniversitelere yerleşenler bu yıl ve geçtiğimiz yıl oldu. University College London'a yerleşen öğrencimiz var. King's College London tıp fakültesine yerleşen öğrencimiz var. Özellikle tıp, çünkü çok İngiltere'de özellikle girmesi zor bir bölüm. Fakat yerleşen öğrencilerimiz oldu. Bunun dışında farklı ülkeleri tercih eden, Amerika'ya gitmeyi isteyen A-level okuduğu halde İngiltere'de, Amerika'da üniversite okumak isteyen öğrenciler de oluyor. Tabii burada A-level'ın şöyle bir avantajı var. Bütün dünyada geçerli bir program bu. Sadece İngiltere'de değil, yani öğrenciler Kanada'da da okumak isterlerse üniversitelerini veya Amerika'da da okumak isterlerse A-level müfredatı her yerde geçerli olduğu için bundan da bu üniversitelere de Harvard'a, MIT'ye bile başvuru yapmak istediklerinde Oxford'a, Cambridge'e tamamını yapabilirler. Bizler de bu üniversitelere öğrenci yerleştiriyoruz. Özellikle söylediğim gibi A-level müfredatı üzerinden. Amerika'da da Connecticut'ta bir okulumuz bulunuyor. Burası ağırlıklı olarak Amerikalı öğrencilerin, %95 Amerikalı öğrencilerin bulunduğu bir yer. Tam New York ve Boston'ın arasında çok güzel bir lokasyonda, 2,5 saat mesafede. Harika bir kampüsümüz var. Ormanın içerisinde yurt konaklaması sağlıyoruz öğrencilere. Ve tabii ki burada da ki bu lisemizde bizim Amerika'daki liseler arasında ilk %7'lik durumda. Dolayısıyla akademik olarak çok güçlü. Her iki ülke içinde öğrencilerimize yurt konaklamaları sağlıyoruz. Konaklama çünkü Türk öğrenciler için en önemli kalemlerden bir tanesi. İngiltere'de aile yanı konaklama seçeneğimiz de var. Özellikle daha küçük yaş için aslında bizim önerdiğimiz seçenek aile yanı konaklama oluyor. Çünkü o aile ortamında öğrencilerin motivasyonlarının daha olumlu etkilendiğini düşünüyoruz. Amerika'daki okulumuzda da konaklama olarak yurt seçeneğini sunuyoruz. Yatılı okul şeklinde geçiyor. Her iki ülke içinde öğrencilerin sadece akademik becerilerini geliştirmeyi hedeflemiyoruz. Çünkü özellikle iyi üniversiteleri hedefleyen öğrenciler araştırma yaptılarsa bunu çok iyi bilirler. Akademik olarak güçlü olmak, iyi üniversitelere yerleşmek için maalesef yeterli değil. Sosyal anlamda da kendinizi çok geliştirmiş olmanız gerekiyor. Dolayısıyla okullarımızda bulunan öğrenci kulüpleri, sosyal sorumluluk projeleri, pek çok faaliyet, sosyal faaliyet, spor kulüpleri, müzik kulüpleri, bu tarz etkinliklerle öğrencilerin üniversitelerine başvuru yaparken portfolyolarını geliştiriyoruz. Bu onlar için, çünkü akademik anlamda çok da güçlü öğrenciler arasında sıyrılmalarını sağlıyor. Eğer mümkünse kendi öğrenci kulüplerini kurmalarını istiyoruz. Hatta bizim Oxford'daki okulumuzun öğrenci kulübünün başkanı Türk bir öğrencimiz bizim. Bizim mutlaka öğrencilerin bu yönlerinin, özellikle liderlik becerisinin çok önemli olduğu bölümlerde bu tarz faaliyetlere katılmalarını istiyoruz. Spor faaliyetleri yine aynı şekilde özellikle Amerika için çok çok önemli. Mutlaka öğrencilerimizin bu tarz faaliyetlerde bulunmasını istiyoruz. Kings olarak biz zaten United World Schools çatısı altındayız. Yani imkanı olmayan öğrencilere okul sağlamak, eğitim materyali sağlamak için gönüllü bir kuruluş. Biz de Kings olarak bu vakfın, bu kuruluşun bir üyesiyiz. Bizim öğrencilerimiz de yine kendi aralarında kermesler düzenleyerek, faaliyetler düzenleyerek gerek eğitim materyalleri gerekse maddi destek olarak imkanı olmayan, örnek çok Myanmar'da örneğin veya Afrika'da bir ülkede bu tarz okullara yardımlar yapıyorlar. Ve bu öğrenciler için tabii ki hem kendi gelişimleri için hem de üniversite başvuruları için çok önemli avantajlar sağlıyor. Biz de bu anlamda öğrencilerimizi yönlendirmeyi tercih ediyoruz. Umuyorum vaktimi aşmamışımdır.
Yok o vakit aşmaktan değil ama ben şu sorumun da cevabını almak istiyorum. Başta da bahsettiğim gibi biraz ilham veren hikayeler de olsun istiyorum bu seminerin içerisinde. Ben de hani rica ettim Safiya'dan da hani bir hikaye anlatmak istediğim
Tabii.
diye. Çünkü biliyoruz ki şu anda aslında genel bilgilerden ziyade çocukların eğitim hayatlarını en çok yönlendiren kanallardan biri de referansları ve bu referansları artık erişmek sadece etraftan tanıştan da değil. Bazen YouTube üzerinden izledikleri video, bazen bir yerde gördükleri bir fotoğraf onlar için çok ilham verici olabiliyor. Dolayısıyla da biz de hem IHSO hesabımızda hem de etkinliği düzenleyen Agenta Endless Abroad'un hesabında çokça yer vermeye bir de yapıyoruz, önem veriyoruz öğrencilerimizin biraz daha süreçle alakalı öngörüleri netleşsin diye. Sizin var mı bizimle paylaşmak istediğiniz bir canınıza ait bir başarı hikayesi olabilir? En azından buradaki katılanlara da bir olmuş olsun.
Tabii.
İleriden bir şey olsun yani, öyle söyleyeyim.
Evet. Bizim hem Türk öğrencilerimizden hem de aslında diğer ülkelerden gelen öğrencilerimizden çok önemli hikayeler var. 14 yaşında bizimle GCSE eğitimine başlayıp Cambridge Üniversitesi'nde ekonomi okuyan öğrencimiz var bizim şu anda. Türkiye'den gelen öğrencilerimizden de devlet lisesinden mezun olan bir öğrencimiz vardı. İngilizce seviyesi çok iyi olmamakla birlikte çok çalışkan bir öğrenciydi. Foundation eğitimi aldı. A-level bile değil. King's College London'da hukuk okudu. Şimdi aynı üniversitede yüksek lisansına başlıyor. Biz tabii öğrencilerimizle iletişimi de mümkün mertebe sağlamaya ve bunu muhafaza etmeye çalışıyoruz ki söylediğiniz gibi, çünkü öğrenciler aslında bir örnek gördüklerinde onların motivasyonu çok daha olumlu olarak etkileniyor. Bu yıl University College London'dan kabul alan bir öğrencimiz var. Biliyorsunuz en önemli üniversitelerden bir tanesi. Türk bir öğrenci. Bu bizim için çok önemli bir gurur kaynağı. Kendisi istese Türkiye'de tam burslu herhangi bir üniversitede okuyabilirdi çok rahat. Fakat çok azimli, çok çalışkan bir kızımız olduğu için hedeflediği üniversitelerden bir tanesine yerleşti. Oradan kabul aldı. Bu da bizim için çok önemli. Aynı şekilde Amerika öğrencilerimizden John Hopkins Üniversitesi'ne yerleştirdiğimiz bir öğrencimiz var. Biliyorsunuz özellikle Covid sürecinde en önemli bizim bilgi kaynaklarımızdan bir tanesi oldu John Hopkins Üniversitesi de. Bu öğrenciler sadece akademik olarak başarılı öğrenciler değildi. Bu öğrencilerin hepsi çok azimliydi ve hepsinin gelecek hedefi dünyada kalıcı bir şeyler bırakmaktı. Ve bu yolda da çok sağlam adımlarla ilerlediklerini görmek bizler için de tabii ki çok büyük bir mutluluk kaynağı. Özellikle küçük yaştan itibaren bizlerle eğitim alıp bizlerden mezun olduktan sonra onların çok iyi yerlere geldiğini görmek gerçekten de hepimiz için çok önemli. Bunun dışında söyleyebileceğim özellikle öğrencilerin gelecek planlarını yaparken bizim onların her adımda yanlarında olacağımızı bilmeleri. Çünkü hem mülakatlarda pek çok iyi üniversitelerin bazıları sadece tıp fakültesi için değil pek çok bölüm için mülakat isteyebilir. Mülakat isteyebilir, ekstra proje yapmaları gerekebilir. Yani belki çok çalışmaları gerekebilir, yoruldukları zamanlar da olacak ama onların hedeflerine ulaşması için hem okulda çalışan arkadaşlarımız, hem akademik danışmanları, hem onların iyiliğinden sorumlu kişiler, welfare officer dediğimiz kişiler var çünkü. Onlarla hep işbirliği halinde, hep koordine olarak gidiyoruz. Hem acentalarımızla, hem velilerimizle, hem öğrencilerimizle. Ben de sürece çok dahilim açıkçası. Sadece acentalarla değil, öğrencilerle de benim sık sık iletişimim oluyor. Dolayısıyla bu anlamda her zaman biz onlara destek olarak onların hedeflerini yerine getirebilmek için onlara elimizden gelen en büyük desteği sağlıyoruz.
Çok teşekkürler. Çok sağ olun.
Ben teşekkür ediyorum.
Türk konuklarımın müsaadesini isteyerek Paolo'ya da söz vermek istiyorum.
Evet.
Sonrasında artık bol bol Türkçe konuşacağımız seminerin diğer kısmına geçiş yaparız. Hi Paolo again. I think you had some connection problems. Have you sorted them?
I think so. Let's see.
So let's try to do something better, huh?
Okay.
Okay, so could you please give us some school's information about Leighton Christian Academy? And if you wish to share any inspirational story with the other students and their parents, you are more than welcome to share with us. You will have 5 minutes, but take your time. If you need longer time, I will give you, don't worry.
So I got here your text about the scholarship too. Can I talk about scholarship too?
Of course.
Okay. First of all, I don't know how to say this. Like Nasılsın? Nasılsın? Nasılsın?
Nasılsın?
Nasılsın? Yes.
How are you? Nasılsın? Okay.
Yes, because I have 6 Turkish with us.
Pardon?
I have 6 Turkish studying with us.
So great. You might know more than nasılsın.
Yeah, Bida. I know Bida.
Please don't say all of them. Maybe it includes some bad words, huh?
Some short words only.
Yes. It's great
Yeah,
to know. So you have 6 students from Turkey. You already knew about, I think, more things about Turkish students. So you know how you can inspire them with your stories and tips about your school. I think that's why you told first to get information to them about scholarship.
Yes. So yes, we give scholarship for our students. Again, how I told you before, we have around 450, 500 kids from all over the world, and we use our scholarship to bring some student athletes to come here study. Of course, that we have some students that prefer arts, right? And they receive a scholarship too. Talking a little bit about the Turkish, because it's our focus here right now. Yes, we have around 6 of them. All our school, we have boarding. Our school is a boarding school, actually, right? We have host parents here that treat them very nice. Again, we are a school that we receive a lot of people that play sports here, right? The Turkish, for example, we have 6 basketball players in Turkish, and again, they love our city. It's a city. It's a mountain city. Actually, Utah is a state of mountains, and it's very nice that they can. Understand a little bit about U.S. Than only Florida and New York, California. So it's a really nice state here that they have fun here too.
Right. Thank you so much. Actually, I really would like to learn your opinion regarding your perspective of studying in abroad for the high school education. Of course, we all, working every day to find new students, to welcoming them in abroad for the high school, and also, of course, you are attending some fairs and talking with the parents and students. What is the most important thing what is the most important thing to prefer to study in abroad for the high school education, for your opinion?
Yes, I was hearing from Safia. Yes, and I completely agree with her. It's very interesting for the parents and for the kids to know how to live by themselves here, and it's really important the transition to college. And something very important to talk about it is that we guide them. We do the transition. We have a lot of knowledge and connection with some colleges here, and we know how to do the transition with them. So it's very important for the parents to allow their kids to come here. We are a high school, private high school that we have only around 450, 500 kids. So we are here a family. So each one here is helping each other. They are cheering for each other, and this is very important for them. They will be here actually in home. It's very nice here. Our environment is very nice.
Yes, great. Actually, for Turkish students, it's really important to have some support point if they have any difficulties in abroad. So I think you both, Sophia and Paulo, you are doing amazing for the students in US, I think. So Paula, you have great scholarship options, and
sure.
As far as you can see that you have great support for the students, every special details about your Turkish students. That's great. Another point as well. And Sophia is very explained very clearly about what is the main important thing about studying in high school in abroad. Actually, I really loved your word as like the investment thing. So it is really huge investment for Turkish students, especially in these days when we are having some price sensitive days in this country. But at the end of the day, education is I think most important thing to connect us and giving us the chance to develop ourselves. And I think I really love my job because of the stories that you told us. We all changing student lives accordingly with the teamwork and giving the support and giving a chance to get better understand themselves. Thank you so much for sharing your story and all information. Can Bulat Bey, merhaba, nasılsınız?
Merhabalar, iyiyim. Siz nasılsınız?
Ben de çok teşekkürler. Günaydın mı demeliyim? İyi öğleden sonraları mı?
Günaydın, günaydın herkese.
Günaydın değil mi?
Evet, evet.
Süper. Bizlerle biraz EMC hakkında detayları paylaşmanızı rica edeceğim. Bir de eminim ki tabii Kanada'da bir lise, Kanada'da yaşayan bir Türk temsilci. Bu aslında birçok öğrenci için çok da böyle nadir bulunan bir durum diyebilirim. Dolayısıyla hem sizin eminim ki vardır, komik hikayeleriniz de vardır, başarı hikayeleri de vardır elinizde. Bunun yanında tabii bizim öğrencilerimiz de var. Bu arada şu anda sizinle beraber eğitim alan bir öğrencimiz de var. Onu
Evet.
da biliyorum. Hem belki ondan bir hikaye vardır. Bilmiyorum. Onun gelişi de tam pandemi dönemiydi. Biraz sıkıntılıydı. Hem de genel olarak sizden biraz bilgi alalım ve tabii ki görüşlerinizi burada önemsiyoruz. Katılımcılarımız da aynı şekilde. Öğrencilerimizin, velilerinin birazcık ilham almaya, bugün burada bu 2 gün yoğun geçen fuarın ardından sizlerden aslında hem iyi şeyler hem de bu yolda karşılaşabilecekleri zorluklara karşı daha önce bulduğumuz belki çözüm yöntemleri ya da güzel sonuçları biraz daha duyarak iyice motive olmaya ihtiyacımız var diye düşünüyorum. O yüzden sözü size bırakıyorum.
Teşekkür ederim. Herkese merhabalar tekrardan. Tabii öncelikle ilk girişte Florida'da bulunan okulumuzdan Safiye bir konuşma yapmıştı. Orada plajlardan, işte havanın güzelliğinden, öğrencilerin çıkıp dolaştığından bahsetti. Tabii bunlar bu tarz şeyler burada söz konusu değil. Konumuz itibariyle. Yani burası biraz soğuk. Kışı biraz uzun sürüyor. Kar yağdı mı da kolay kolay kalkmıyor. Nisan ortasına kadar diyeyim, yani Mayıs'a kadar biraz hava kötüydü ama ondan sonrası şehir ve etraf çok güzel. Tabii göllerle çevrili bir bölge. Yani bu anlamda tabii Florida daha başka bir seçenek olabilir Kanada'ya kıyasla.
Talking about your speech, you gave some explanation about weather in Florida, and John Bulat is representing a school in Canada, in Toronto. You can imagine how he is having difficulties to explain the cold weather in Canada.
Yeah, so you were talking about the beaches, going to the parks and everything, but that's not the case here.
Just different climate, depends on what someone's looking for.
Yeah, exactly. Sonrasında buraya gelen tabii birçok öğrencimiz var. Ben 3 yıldır UMC'de çalışıyorum. Tabii pandemi döneminde şartlar biraz farklılaştı. Özellikle son 2 aydır sınırlar açıldıktan sonra gelen öğrenciler çok farklı bir deneyimden geçiyorlar. Uçağa binmeden önce testinizi oluyorsunuz. Kanada'ya indikten sonra havalimanında test için sıra bekliyorsunuz. Ve daha sonra onun üzerine negatif çıksın çıkmasın önemli değil. Karantina için karantina olacağınız yere geçiyorsunuz. Homestay ya da eve. Daha sonra tekrar test olup daha sonra dışarı çıkıp okula gelebiliyorsunuz. Bu süreç çerçevesinde öğrenci derslerine online olarak katılabiliyor. Zaten pandemi ilk başladığından itibaren Mart ayıyla birlikte 2020'nin biz online dersleri hemen başlatmıştık. Dileyen öğrenciler de kendini rahat ve güvende hissetmeyen öğrenciler pandemi dolayısıyla ya da aileleri öğrencileri çağırmışlar ise ülkelerine dönüp eğitimlerine o şekilde devam edebildiler online olarak. Bu yüzden herkes için bambaşka bir tecrübe oldu. Havalimanında yani 5-6 saate varan beklemeler oluyor. Buna sizin öğrenciniz de dahildi tabii. Yani karşılayan arkadaşlarımız... Evet. Gelen bir pişman. Karşılayan arkadaşlarımız havalimanının içerisine giremiyorlar. Dışarı çıkıp onu bir şekilde buluşmaları gerekiyor. Vesaire. Herkesin bambaşka bir tecrübeydi ama öğrenciler ve veliler daha çok yüz yüze eğitimi tercih ettikleri için ve okulumuz da bu anlamda onaylandığı için bakanlık tarafından gelebilen öğrenciler gelmek isterler ama online eğitimini ülkesinden devam etmek isteyen öğrenciler varsa da bu da tabii mümkün oldu. Benim yurt dışı lise eğitimi için planlama yapan öğrenciler ve ailelerine yani artık dünya küçük bir yer. Tabii Kuzey Amerika biraz daha uzak Avrupa'ya kıyasla. Yani İngiltere'ye lise eğitimine gidecek bir öğrenci sabah canı istediğinde akşam üzeri için bir bilet alıp yani İstanbul'a, Ankara'ya gelebilir. Yani günde yanlış bilmiyorsam 10 kadar uçak vardır diye tahmin ediyorum. Ama Kuzey Amerika'ya geldiğinizde biraz daha farklı, biraz daha uzak. Ve günde sadece bir uçak var bizim bulunduğumuz yerden, Toronto'dan mesela. Ve Kanada'nın sadece birkaç şehrinden Türkiye'ye direkt uçak bulunuyor. Bu yüzden bunları göz önünde bulundurduktan sonra artık yüz yüze görüşme, video chat, mesajlaşmalar bunlar çok basit. Yani uzaklar eskisi kadar uzak olmamakla birlikte bu tamamen bir karara bağlı. Yani ilk etapta bu kararı alıp ailenizden ayrılmak 14-15 yaşında çok kolay bir karar değil. Yani ben Kanada'ya 30 yaşından sonra geldim. Benim için de kolay değil. Ama geldikten sonra sizin için açılan kapılar, öğrendikleriniz, dünyanın dört bir yanından edindiğiniz arkadaşlar, burada tanıştığınız insanlar, sizin ileride CV'niz için çok önemli şeyler. Bu dünya üzerinde bir sürü ülkede tanıştığınız insanlarla oluşturduğunuz bir bağ, ileride hiç ummadığınız bir anda karşınıza çıkabilir. Ve öğrencilerin de unutmaması gereken şey şu: eğer siz daha büyük şeyler başarmak ve yani başka ülkelerde de okullar okumak ve üniversitelere gitmek istiyorsanız öncelikle bir adım atmanız gerekiyor. Yani insanlar çoğu zaman kendi konfor alanlarının dışına çıkmak istemiyorlar. Ama bunun dışarısına çıkmadan da önemli şeyleri başarmak pek mümkün olmuyor. Tabii ilk geldiklerinde sosyal olarak biraz farklı, yemek kültürü çok farklı. Öğrenciler özellikle yemek konusunda biraz sıkıntı çekiyorlar. Özellikle bizim bölgemizden gelen öğrenciler. Ama daha sonrasında birkaç ay sonra alıştıklarında zaten yüzlerindeki ifadelerinde de fark ediyorsunuz. Herkesin alıştığını anlayabiliyorsunuz. Burada okullarda tabii öğretmenlerin özellikle İngilizcesi düşük seviyede olan öğrenciler için yaklaşımları çok önemli ve bütün uluslararası öğrenci kabul eden bütün okullarda öğretmenlerin kredisini vermek gerekiyor. Gerçekten çok iyi iş başarıyorlar. Biz de okulda öğrenciler eğer yardıma ihtiyaç olsa, ben zaten şahsen her gün okuldayım. Yani öğrencilerin sıkıntıları olduğunda yardım etmeye çalışıyoruz ve bir anlamda işte adapte olmalarını sağlıyoruz ve buraya geldiklerinde hayatları tamamen değişiyor. Türkiye'de okula giderlerken kahvaltıları hemen önlerine geliyor, her şey hazır, çamaşırları yıkanıyor, odalarını toplamalarına gerek yok. Ama burada konaklama sistemine, yurtta ya da aile yanında girdiklerinde kendilerinden çıkarken odalarını toplamaları bekleniyor. İşte çamaşır günü geldiğinde çamaşırların hazır vaziyette getirmeleri bekleniyor. Yani öğrenciler küçük yaşta bunlara alıştığında ilk etapta Safiye'nin de söylediği gibi daha sonra üniversiteye gittiklerinde çok daha hazır şekilde gidiyorlar. Tabii İngilizcenin gelişme kısmından bahsetmiyorum bile. O kaçınılmaz. Çünkü Türkiye'de İngilizce öğrenmek ve oradan yabancı bir üniversiteye gitmekle yabancı bir ülkede hayatınızın bir parçası olarak İngilizce konuşmak çok farklı şeyler. Bu tabii daha sonra girdikleri IELTS, TOEFL gibi üniversite girişte gerekli olan sınavlara da yansıyor diyebiliriz. Evet, devam edeyim ben.
Ben mi acaba? Ben de fikirleştim de.
Evet, duyuyoruz biz sizi. Evet, Kanada, Ontario özelinde devam edersek, burada lise yine 4 yıl, Türkiye'deki gibi ve kredili sistem uygulanıyor. Öğrenciler lisenin herhangi bir senesinde gelip eğitim alabiliyorlar. Geldikleri yıla göre ve Türkiye'deki transkriptlerine göre öğrencilere belli oranda kredi verilip üzerine burada tamamlıyorlar. Buradan Kanada'da bulunan ya da Avrupa'da bulunan ya da Amerika'da bulunan üniversitelere geçmeler için genelde hemen hemen aynı şartlar isteniyor. Amerika'daki sınav hariç tabii. Son sınıfta aldıkları 6 adet üniversite giriş dersi. Tabii bundan yüksek ortalama yapmaları bekleniyor öğrencilerin. Daha sonrasında rahatlıkla kabul alabiliyorlar. İlk etapta biraz karmaşık gibi gözükse de alıştıktan sonra oldukça basit ve tamamen ders geçip kredi kazanmaya dayalı bir sistem diyebiliriz Şevval Hanım. Asuman Hanım, siz isterseniz devam edin, hiç konuşmanız.
Evet, evet
Buyurun.
galiba Şevval Hanım, evet bir kopukluk oldu. Ben de tekrar merhabalar herkese. Siz değerli katılımcıların söylediği her şeye gerçekten katılıyorum ve aynılarını da tekrar da etmek istemiyorum. Özellikle İlknur Hanım'ın İngiltere'deki eğitim sistemiyle ilgili bilgi verirken diploma programları olan GCSE, A-Level gibi teknik konulara tekrar değinmeyeceğim. Ben sadece İngiltere'deki yatılı okulların gençlere kattığı artı yönleri paylaşmak istiyorum. Ve bunu nasıl yapıyorlar? İçinde yaşadığım için ve bizzat İngiltere'de birçok okulu gezdiğim, gördüğüm, ziyaret ettiğim, öğrencilerimi yerleştirdiğim ve öğrencilerimi daha sonra ziyaret ettiğim ve onların gelişimlerini ve ilerlemelerini izlediğim için birebir bunları sizinle paylaşmak istiyorum. Dün ve bugün gelen sorulardan şunu tekrar belirtmek istiyorum. Yatılı okul, yani öğrencilerin okul yılı boyunca hem yaşayıp hem de eğitim alabilecekleri konaklamalı eğitim kurumlarıdır. Geleneksel British, İngiliz yatılı okullarında host family, yani aile yanı konaklama çok yaygın bir uygulama değildir burada. Birleşik Krallık'ta, yani İngiltere, Galler, Kuzey İrlanda ve İskoçya'da yaklaşık 500 yatılı okul bulunmaktadır. Yani yüz ölçümü, aslında adanın yüz ölçümü düşünüldüğünde çok ciddi bir rakam bu. Sanırım, lütfen yanlışsa düzeltin, Amerika'da 300 civarında, Kanada'da 25-27 civarında yatılı okul var. Ve Britanya'yı düşündüğünüzde ne kadar köklü, eski ve doğal eğitim sisteminin doğal bir parçası olduğunu yatılı okul eğitiminin görebilirsiniz. Uluslararası öğrenciler peki neden tercih ediyor İngiltere'yi? 100 yılı aşkın bir süredir dünya standartlarında köklü eğitim kurumlarında eğitim almak için yabancı öğrenciler buraya geliyor. Her sene 27 bin 30 bin arasında yeni uluslararası öğrenci yatılı okul eğitimine başlıyor İngiltere'de ve mevcut akademik yılda da 70 bin civarında aktif uluslararası yatılı öğrenci bulunuyor. Çok ciddi bir rakam bu. Sadece 7 ve 18 yaş arası orta öğretim, hatta ilkokul, yani 7 yaşında başlıyor burada yatılı okul eğitimi. Çok ciddi bir öğrenci sayısı olduğunu görebiliriz. İngiltere'deki tüm yatılı okullar sundukları öğretim kalitesi, fiziksel imkanları ve öğrencilerin sorumluluğunu alma konularında devletin koyduğu çok ciddi, katı ve çok yüksek standartlara uymakla yükümlüdürler ve sürekli denetlenirler, sürekli kontrol edilirler. Bilmiyorum, dünyanın başka bir ülkesinde bu kadar sıkı denetim, bu kadar sıkı kriterler var mıdır? İyi bir eğitim, bütün velilerimiz iyi bir eğitim yaşamın temelini oluşturur düşüncesiyle elbette çok ciddi maddi ve manevi yatırım yapmayı planlıyorlar çocukları için. Emin olsunlar ki İngiliz yatılı okul eğitimi çocuklarımıza evden uzakta olmanın en iyi yönlerini sunacaktır. Peki nelerdir bunlar? İngiliz eğitim sisteminin kalbinde öğrenciyi birey olarak görmek var ve bireye odaklanma yaklaşımıyla öğrencilere hem akademik hem de ders dışı fırsatlar sunup her öğrencinin kendine güvenen, kendini geliştiren, potansiyelini gerçekleştiren bireyler olmasına çalışılır. Bunlar sadece özel yatılı okullarda değil, İngiliz eğitim sisteminin temel felsefesidir. Benim 2 kızım var, ikisi de devlet okullarına gidiyor ve tamamen öğrenci odaklı bireyler yetiştirmeye çalışıyorlar. Her sistemde, her okulda bunu görebiliyoruz. Yatılı okullarda, özel yatılı okullarda, küçük sınıflarda birebir öğretmen ilgi ve alakasıyla elbette öğrencilere daha fazla ilgi veriliyor. Güçlü yanları ortaya çıkarılıyor, zayıf yönleri mutlaka ve mutlaka destekleniyor. Ve bu şekilde öğrenciler en iyi şekilde üniversitelere ve iş hayatına sonrasında hazırlanıyor. Tabii ki öğrencileri sadece akademik olarak desteklemek yetmez. Elbette manevi, duygusal olarak da profesyonel bir şekilde sarmalanıyor burada öğrenciler. Yatılı öğrenciler özellikle.
Aslında lütfen kusura bakmayın, ben bir bağlantı hatası yaşadım ve Can Bulat Bey'in sonuna, sizin de konuşmanızın başına eşlik edemedim. Aslında en çok merak ettiğim kısım, yani sizden duymak istediğim kısım, siz sonuçta öğrencilerin oradaki süreçlerine birebir de şahit olarak havalimanında indikleri andaki hallerinden mezun olana kadarki süreçlerindeki değişimlerini gören, bence işin en eğlenceli kısmındasınız. Yani en güzel geri dönüşlerini aldığımız dönemde. Dolayısıyla da mutlaka ki çok ciddi kendi öz izlenimleriniz de vardır. Hem paylaştığınız için çok teşekkür ederim. Kendi kızlarınızın da orada eğitim aldığından bahsettiniz. Evet. Mutlaka onların hayatlarında da, kendi davranışlarında da değişiklikleri gözlemlemişsinizdir. Özellikle bize bu alanlardaki gözlemlerinizle ilgili de birazcık böyle tip noktalar verebilirseniz ben çok mutlu olurum. Hem anne gözü hem bir eski öğretmen gözü. O da çok kıymetli bizim için. Hem de orada bu işi yapan biri olarak, çünkü ben hani burada işte Can Bulat Bey de aynı şekilde orada olan bir Türk ve biz ister istemez daha çok buranın dengelerini bildiğimiz için öğrenci oraya indikten sonraki o süreci çok farklı ilerleyebiliyor. Dolayısıyla da orada olmanın farkları ve gerçekten fark ettiğiniz Türk öğrenciye bu çok has bir şey ve sürecin sonunda da bu huy buna dönüşüyor gibi. Çünkü benim gözlemim, geldiklerinde Türkçe konuşmaları bile değişiyor. Yani kullandıkları, seçtikleri kelimeler bile o kadar bir olgunlaşma oluyor. Ben çok keyif alıyorum bu arada. Ama tabii ki hani sizin de oradaki gözleminizi çok merak ediyorum.
Tabii ki hemen paylaşayım. Ben de hani 6 yıllık bu alanda çalışmalarımda yaş grubunun çok düştüğünü gözlemledim. Hani ilk yıllarda 15-16 yaşındaki öğrenciler lise eğitimi için gelirken artık şimdi 10-11 yaş öğrenci velilerimle görüşmekte ve çalışmaktayım. Bu hani ve genellikle de öğrencilerin kendi inisiyatifleri, kendilerinin adım atmasıyla bu iş başlıyor ailelerde. Yani bir anne babanın iteklemesiyle değil, öğrenci diyor ki ben yurt dışında okuyacağım ya veya ben İngiltere'de okuyacağım. Hani aile şaşırıyor. Tamam, o zaman destek olalım diyor. Hani hele ki tek çocuksa arka planda anne baba ağlıyor ama çocuk çok mutlu, gelmek istiyor. Bunlar en çok gözlemlediğim şey. Yani bu zorla olacak bir şey değil, asla değil. Olan vardı ve olmadı, döndüler. Çocuğun kesinlikle kendisinin istemesi gerekiyor. İngiltere'deki yatılı okulların gözünden ise bence Türk öğrencilere bayılıyorlar. Gerçekten biz hani ilkokul birden ana sınıfından beri stres altında çalışmaya, çok çalışmaya, sınavlara hazırlanmaya, zaman yönetimini o kadar erken yaşta öğrenmeye başlıyoruz ki sistem içinde bunda hiçbir sıkıntı yaşamıyor öğrenciler. Tek bocaladıkları nokta eğitim yaklaşımı. Çok fazla sorumluluk veriliyor öğrencilere. Yol gösteriliyor. Evet, şöyle yukarıdan bir büyük bir lamba gibi düşünün. Öğretmen burada sana ışık yayıyor ama doğru yolu senin bulman bekleniyor ve her zaman seni supervise ediyor, denetliyor, feedback veriyor, geri dönüş veriyor ve doğruyu ve daha en iyisini bulman için sana yol gösteriyor. Bu bizim Türkiye'de çok fazla alıştığımız bir yöntem değil. O yüzden 2-3 ay, 4 ay bocalayabiliyor öğrenciler buna adapte olana kadar ama ne kadar küçük gelirlerse 8. sınıf 7. sınıftan itibaren secondary education başlıyor burada. Yani 11 yaşta gelen bir öğrenciyle 16 yaşta A-level'a gelen bir öğrenci arasında adaptasyon konusunda çok ciddi bir fark var. Küçük yaşta çok daha hızlı, İngilizceleri mükemmel seviyeye geliyor. Akademik okuryazarlık seviyeleri çok yüksek oluyor. Fakat 16 yaşında gelen bir öğrenci hani A-level'ın zorluğuyla mı mücadele edeyim? Hani İngilizcemi mi geliştireyim? Yoksa ailemden ayrıldım, annemi babamı özledim. Bu duygularla mı mücadele edeyim? Onunla savaşıyor ve belki
daha yüksek
en önemli ilk 3 ayı bu bocalamayla geçiyor. Özetle hani ne kadar erken o kadar iyi. İngiltere'deki yatılı okullar zaten uluslararası öğrencileri çok büyük bir değer olarak görüyorlar. hem British öğrenciler için, onların dışarıya açılması için, hem kendileri için karma toplumlar oluşturmak için okulun içinde karşılıklı sevgi, saygı, toleransı desteklemek için uluslararası öğrencilere çok açıklar. Onların çok farklı milletlerden, çok farklı eğitim sistemlerinden gelen bu öğrencileri İngiliz eğitim sistemi içinde bir potaya sokabilmek, onları uyumlamak konusunda sonsuz deneyimliler. O yüzden Türk öğrencileri de çok çok pozitifler. Yani çünkü her gelen Türk öğrenci çok güzel yerlere geldi, çok güzel ilerledi. Çok şükür ki hani çok güzel örnekler duyduk. Ya hemen adapte oldular. Sosyal açıdan hele son derece konuşkan bir milletiz. Son derece eğlenceli çocuklar yurtların içinde. Türk geceleri vesaire. Sosyal açıdan da çok girişkeniz. O yüzden çok tercih ediliyor diyebilirim. Seviliyorlar. Keşke sayılar daha da artsa.
Sanıyorum artık önümüzdeki yıllarda daha da artacağını hep birlikte göreceğiz.
İnşallah.
Bunu gösteriyor. Can Bulat Bey'in dediği gibi yani dünya artık küçük bir yer. Dolayısıyla da hem işte bu görüşmeler artık hani biliyorsunuz çok da böyle parmak hızıyla bir araya gelip konuşabildiğimiz şeyler haline dönüştü. Öncesinde büyük organizasyonlar, büyük yatırımlar işte daha farklı timinglerle organize edebildiğimiz süreçleri bugün burada 5 dakika içerisinde bir araya gelip konuşup süreci organize edip ilerletebildiğimiz bir noktadayız. Dolayısıyla bilgi ne kadar hızlı yayılıyorsa da o kadar hızlı da aslında taleple buluşuyor ve bizler de bu süreci yaşıyoruz. Çok teşekkür ederim Asuman Hanım. Bakış açınız değerliydi bizim için bence. Çok sağ olun katılımınız, katkınız için.
Ben çok teşekkür ederim.
Rica ederiz. Çok teşekkürler katıldığınız için İlknur Hanım, Can Bulat Bey. Çok sağ olun.
Ben teşekkür ederim.
Güzel bir pazar günü diliyorum buradan sonrası için. Umuyoruz öğrencilerimiz özellikle akıllarına takılan herhangi bir soru olduğunda standlarımız hala daha açık. 2 saat daha hatta saat 7'ye kadar 1 saat daha ziyaretçilerimiz sizleri ziyaret edebilir. Videolu görüşme yapabilir. Sizlere olan sorularını doğrudan yönetebilirler. Safiye, can you hear me? Thank you so much for participating us. Paula, can you hear me as well?
Thank you for allowing us to participate. I really enjoyed it. The Turkish language is so beautiful. I was just sitting here listening.
You said merhaba in the first time that we met, and then it's just, you know, I thought maybe Safiya learn merhaba, she can learn more.
Yes, I do need to learn more. We have a Turkish family here at our school as well, so I need to talk to them about learning some more Turkish.
Thank you so much for joining us, Paula, Safiya.
Thank you.
Thank you for all our participants. If our students have any additional questions, they are welcome to visit your booths. The booths will be open for another 1 hour, and our students can easily access to your information from the chat area and can start video chat if our representatives approve this. So I'm wishing you a very great fair. It is the last day, and we are in like last hour. I hope that you all have great fair and you all have great student connection. I'm wishing you very great Sunday, by the way.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Wow, that was very neat to be able to see the little introduction there, because there was some footage you probably saw from last year's fair. My name's Nathan Hayhoe, by the way. I'm here with Red Leaf Canada. I was at last year's fair in Istanbul. It seems like a long time ago, but because so much has changed since then. But it was so interesting to participate in this year's event as well, to see how Gökhan and Gökmen and Başak and Cheval and their team Gizem have put on such a great event. You know, everything has changed, everything's different, but so great that they were able to put this together and that we were able to participate and that we were able to still meet all of these wonderful students and parents and other educators and the Endless Abroad team, of course. In fact, this year was kind of cool because I got to meet students from all over Turkey. I mean, last year we were in Istanbul, and I got to meet a lot of students from Istanbul, of course, but this year I met students from Bursa and Izmir and Adana and Ankara and Sivas and Muğla. I'm probably pronouncing all of those names incorrectly, but the students told me a little bit about where they're from and all these different parts of Turkey. So anyway, it's not maybe the way we want to be doing things always, but it's a great job by the Endless Abroad team to allow us to connect with all of you parents and students. As I mentioned, my name's Nathan Hayhoe. I'm from Red Leaf. I'm from here in Canada. I'm going to talk to you a little bit today about summer programs. I'm not going to tell you specifically about our programs or promote our programs. What I want to do is just try to, for parents and students who are interested in summer in Canada, give a very factual overview of what it's like to study in Canada. The whys and the hows and the where to goes and where you'll land and what types of activities and events you might consider doing if you should decide to spend a summer in Canada. From there, you should have some information to start with, and then certainly if you'd like more information, you can contact Red Leaf. Summer, my colleague now, is at our booth and she can help you, but hopefully this will set you on the right path if it's something you're considering. Now, I know this is an educational fair that is geared towards high school studies. And a lot of students and parents are thinking and are focused on studying in high school, studying a year abroad in high school or a semester abroad in high school, somewhere outside of Turkey. If you have the ability to do that, I highly recommend it. You should do that. And I hope you got some of the information you were looking for. The reason that I wanted to talk a little bit about summer here at the end of this this day of meetings is for basically there's three types of students that I recommend summer programs for. Even if you're looking for a semester or a year abroad in another country, I recommend that before going, if you can, if you have the ability to do so, spend a summer there first. So if you're a grade 8 or grade 9 student in Turkey and you're thinking about studying in Canada or USA or somewhere else for a year in grade 10 or grade 11, it's a good idea to go for 2 weeks or 3 weeks or 4 weeks in the summer and get to know the culture and the people and improve your language skills before going. And then if you like it, you can return if you're able the following September for school or a year later for school. That's the first reason. I always say, check it out first if you can. The second reason is for some of you students, your English level may not quite be where you need it to be to study in another country in their education system. Jumping directly into studies, I'm from Canada, so that's my experience, jumping directly into a Canadian high school can be difficult. It's academically challenging. So you want to make sure your language skills are there, especially your listening and speaking skills. That's another reason that a summer program can really help out. Attending a 2 or a 3 or a 4 week program where you just focus on your spoken English and your listening skills is a great way to feel much more comfortable when you start your high school year abroad program. And then the final reason is price. Now, a lot of you students have spoken to me and my team and others here and are really excited and interested in all these wonderful destinations and these full year programs that you're interested in participating in. But of course, we've got to ask mom and dad if it fits into our budget. And for some of us, it won't. For those of you who want that experience of getting to meet friends in another country and getting to know another culture and immersing yourself in another language, a shorter term summer program could be a good alternative if a full year program is just not in the budget right now. The other thing I wanted to mention just in the end here, before I start with my presentation about the different aspects of Canadian studies, is we've seen over the last year that we don't know what the world might look like a year from now. And especially us as educators, we're very conscious of the fact that the world changes very quickly nowadays. So if you're interested in becoming a biologist, you need to study biology. And if you're interested in going into business, you need to study business courses. That's clear. But what's more important is experiences and growth. And those types of experiences, like a semester abroad or a year abroad, no matter what you study, even if you don't study biology or business, is going to be valuable to you, because we don't know what the economy and the future and careers are even going to look like a year or two or 5 or 10 years from now. But those experiences will be with you. So here's a little bit of information about one type of experience that you could have, and that's a summer in Canada. I'm going to go through briefly. I'm not going to take up too much of your time, by the way. I'm going to talk for about 20 minutes, and that's it. And the reason is because it's at the end of the day. You've all had lots of meetings. You've had lots of meetings in English. Your brains are probably tired from speaking English and listening to people like me speak English all day. So I'll give you the information. Contact us after if you want to learn more. I'm going to give you an overview about Canada, some factual information about the summer months in Canada, some of the activities that you can expect to do if you come to Canada, and then I want to tell you about the 3 types of programs that you can generally choose when you come to Canada: day camps, overnight camps, and language camps. And then I'll close by telling you a little bit about the homestay or accommodations that you can choose when you come to Canada. So I know we've had a lot of speakers, and actually you're probably surprised that when you come to an international high school fair or event, you meet so many Canadians. The population of Canada is not very large, but I'm sure it seems like every second person you were talking to was a Canadian. The reason is because a lot of people do choose Canada as their destination of choice for studies or for international experiences. The reasons I'm sure people have gone over before: it's a friendly country, it's a welcoming country, it's got a great education system, and I hope you'll find it's full of great people as well. Canada is a very, very big country. When you come to Canada for a summer program, you will fly to either Vancouver, that's over here in the left side, I can see my cursor on the screen there, so I'm hovering over Vancouver, or Toronto, or Montreal. Those are the 3 main airports that you'll fly to from Istanbul. Now, from there, you can stay within one of those 3 cities, Vancouver or Toronto or Montreal. Certainly there's lots to do and lots to explore, but Canada in the summer is all about getting out of the city and seeing some of the countryside, some of the lakes, some of the forests. It's got the mountains, beautiful natural scenery. So the first thing I'll say is don't be scared to choose a program that's located in an area that you've not heard of, that's a little bit outside of Toronto or Vancouver or Montreal. In Canada, we are not afraid to travel. When we fly to Vancouver or Toronto, we're okay with getting on a bus and going a few hours north or east or west to be near the mountains or the lakes or the forest, because for us, that's part of what experiencing the summer is all about. Most of the programs do take place within 100 or 200 kilometers of these main cities. So generally, you're not going to be going too far north. You're going to be staying within 100 or 200 kilometers of the American border in the southern areas of Canada. I'm sure a question that's on a lot of your minds is, can I come to Canada right now? And I'm sure that's something that you've been asking lots of the educational partners that you've been talking to here today. The COVID situation has affected Canada like it has so many other countries. They're rolling out the vaccinations here in Canada. My grandmother was vaccinated just last week, and my mom got her first shot last week. So slowly but surely, we're getting our vaccinations out. But it's a process that they're reevaluating every single week and every single month. So I'm located in Toronto, for example. In our region, Toronto, Ontario, we're still on kind of a semi-lockdown, which means not everything is open 100% yet here now in the month of February. That situation is changing every single week and every single month. It may still be possible to visit Canada this summer. It may not, and that's something that you'll have to discuss with your parents, and it's something we'll keep in touch with you about if you're interested, to keep you updated on the situation. If not, it's something that you could obviously consider in the summer of 2022, coming to Canada for a trip in the summer. Of course, students are being accepted to Canada. You can come to Canada on a student visa and study at a full semester or full year academic program. But we're hoping some students can and will be able to travel before so as well. So once again, if it's something you really want to consider for this year, I would encourage you to get in touch with now at the Red Leaf summer booth, or any partner that you're interested in working with, and they'll keep you updated on this situation. When is the summer in Canada? Now, I've talked to a few of you students, and you've told me that you actually have a nice long summer break in Turkey. So the last student I was talking to, she told me that actually she's going to be off this coming year on June 15th. And then she has 3 months off. She goes all the way from June 15th to September 15th. In Canada, we don't get quite so long a break for the summer months. Our summer in Canada is July and August. So the high schools and middle schools and elementary schools in Canada will go right up to the end of June, and then they'll start again in September. So July and August for us, that's what summer means. So if you're interested in a summer program in Canada, you're going to be coming during the months of July and August. For those of you who think of Canada as a cold country with snow and we like to play hockey, that's not true in the summer. In the summer, it's going to be 25 degrees plus during the day. The days are long. We get lots of sunshine during the day. And we are all about going outside, going swimming, going to the lake, going to the beach. So if you think of winter when you think of Canada, that's true. But the summer will be warm and sunny, and you'll be able to get outside. The types of activities that you can do. So any summer program that you choose in Canada, whether it's an overnight camp or a day camp or an English program, they should offer you different full-day excursions that you can do. Now, those full-day excursions will depend on which region you choose to go to. Do you want to go to the Toronto area or the Vancouver area, for example? If you choose to go to the Toronto area, you can see up here on the screen, we have some of the famous activities that we always take our students on when they come to Canada. Niagara Falls, one of the wonders of the world, is a great trip. You can see some of our students there visit Niagara Falls. They put on their raincoats and they get on a boat and they go right up close to the falls to see. We, of course, always, even if they're outside the city for living and for their daily program, we always take them to the city to see, in this case, Toronto, the CN Tower, Toronto Blue Jays baseball game. Those types of activities are obviously included in any summer program in the Toronto area. In Vancouver, it's the same thing. There's lots of great tourist areas in Vancouver to see, especially great, lots of natural beauty. Taking a ferry out to Victoria and Vancouver Island is a wonderful thing to do there as well. Those are full day activities. Now, you're going to have programming during your summer program. Of course, you'll have English classes or leadership classes or activities that you do during the day. On top of that, you'll do daily activities, afternoon activities. For us, summer is all about things like canoeing. You can see at the bottom there, beach volleyball. These are great summer activities in Canada because the weather is so nice, the day is so long. We like getting outside and doing things. So we try to, with all of our Red Leaf programs, what we really try to do is give a full Canadian experience. So we're trying to get you out doing things like canoeing, playing street hockey, maybe activities that you've not done before, learning about the Indigenous culture of Canada and visiting Indigenous sites. A lot of those types of activities. We play lacrosse, which is a local Indigenous Canadian activity. But we also do a lot of just the regular traditional activities like beach volleyball and fruit picking and other traditional summer camp activities that are fun for students to take part in. For those students who have found during the day, doing their one-on-one video meetings with educational partners, that maybe your English skills aren't quite as good as you thought they were, or maybe they aren't quite up to the place where you think they need to be, and you're thinking about doing a semester abroad, or you're thinking about doing university in England or USA or Canada after high school, a language camp is a good idea. So going to Canada, you're going to get all of those experiential things that you want. You're going to make friends. You're going to see the country. You're going to do those activities. But during the morning, what we try to do at these language camps is make sure you have English classes with Canadian teachers during the day. Then in the afternoons, we do our Canadian type activities. And on the weekends or one day a week, we do those full day excursions where we see places like Niagara Falls and Vancouver Island. So for those students who really think that they need to improve their English skills, this is the perfect program because you can go over to Canada, do 2, 3, 4 weeks of full immersion. In this case, the calendar I have up on the screen is a sample of a 4-week program that we offer. It's just outside of Toronto. Like you said, we like to get out into the country. We do a trip to Algonquin Park, which is an absolutely phenomenal natural park here in Canada, where students can get a real sense of Canadian outdoor life, canoeing and camping and living in cabins. For those students who speak English, maybe you have at least a beginner or intermediate level of English, but you still want that experience and you still want to improve your English, then we have day camps. What day camps means for us Canadians, and these are the types of camps that, by the way, Canadians attend. For us in the summer, camps are a very important part of our summers growing up. We attend camps usually from the ages of about, very young, 6, 7, 8 years old, all the way up into high school. And it's a part of our summer life that we're very used to here in Canada. And when we go to a day camp here in Canada, obviously we're not thinking about language skills. We're thinking much, much more about doing activities like leadership. So for example, in this sample day camp, this is another one of the Red Leaf programs that we offer. Instead of those English classes in the morning, what we do is we offer leadership workshops and survival skills and first aid training and different interactive activities. So again, this is going to be all in English. Your English skills will improve, but the goal is not to teach you English. It's that if you're going to join one of these day camp programs, you should already speak English, and it's more about learning life skills in English rather than learning English. We still always try to get out and do the same types of very important activities, such as the Algonquin overnight trip we include in this program. We also try to do all of those things we were talking about, like street hockey and lacrosse and canoeing. So all of those typical Canadian activities should be included. But again, we're trying to focus on life skills rather than just English skills in these day camps. The final option for camps in Canada is overnight camps. So we work with a lot of great overnight camps, and honestly, overnight camps in Canada are phenomenal. They're always going to be a little bit more expensive. For day camps and language camps, you're going to be staying with a host family. For overnight camps, as the name suggests, you stay in a residence or a cabin some type of accommodation provided by the camp. You can see in the bottom right-hand side of the screen, we have pictures of some of the cabins that are available. This is the most traditional type of Canadian summer program. These are phenomenal experiences. The camps that we work with to provide overnight camps have perfected these programs. I attended these programs when I was young. My parents attended these programs when I was young. We've been doing these programs for years and years and years in Canada. It's a traditional part of our summers in Canada. The idea with these overnight camps is you're completely immersed. The friendship, this is the part where I'm talking about the experience and the friendship. I met with a lot of you students over the last couple of days who told me you're looking for the experience. And I really appreciate that that's what you're focused on, because it's something that you should be focused on. It's something that you should be demanding from your education. Is not just academic skills, but also life skills. And this is the best type of camp for those. They're going to be a little bit more expensive than traditional day camps, but these camps offer you a fully immersive experience into the Canadian camp life. The other thing that's really cool about these camps that we offer is when you do an overnight camp, you're not doing an overnight camp with other international students only. There's Canadians, because this is a big part of, like I said, Canadian Summers is we send our kids to these camps. Our Canadian kids go to these camps. And so when you're in one of these camps, doing your rope climbing and life skills and survival skills and cooking skills, you're going to be doing that with other Canadian students, There may be other international students there, but we keep the number of international students actually very limited, because what we do is we work with certain camps, we choose them within certain areas of Canada, and we request that they provide us with a few spots. And then most of their spots are reserved for local Canadian students, and then we have a few international students who join them at these programs. If you choose an overnight program, you'll be staying in the camp accommodations, obviously. For all other types of programs, you would stay with a Canadian host family. This is a very good thing, especially if you're looking to improve your language skills. The idea is that you'll go home from your day at camp and you'll talk to your host family, you'll have dinner with them, you'll do some activities with them in the evening, and you'll improve your English skills by talking to them as part of your immersion. Homestay in Canada is available in all of those regions that I told you about, so Toronto, Vancouver. And the great thing about Canadian homestay is that we have a huge selection. Of course, Canadian families come in all different shapes and sizes. We have all different cultural backgrounds, but you get, regardless of the family that you get to spend your time with, you'll have that immersion into the Canadian life and culture, and of course the English language. We always choose our families here at Red Leaf based on the best possible match for you. We always have our own database of families. We work with our own local coordinators who are on the ground to match you with the best possible host family, if that's something that you choose to do, if you choose to stay with a host family. We even have programs. Some of our students who come from other countries, especially in Spain, for example, we have a lot of students that come over, and they're older students, maybe like you, they're in high school, they're 16, they're 17 years old. And what they want is just the Canadian experience. And a lot of, again, we're talking about budget. A lot of people want that experience, but don't have it within their budget to pay for a program that is, if you're doing a semester abroad, you're talking about prices that are $15,000 Canadian and above, and a year abroad is 30,000 Canadian dollars and above. Well, for a summer program, you can do that for significantly less, of course, but you can also just choose to stay with a host family. So we have a program in particular here at Red Leaf called Family Immersion. And what it is for students like you who already speak English, who are already mature, who just want to have that immersion experience. And you go over, you stay with a Canadian host family. We ensure that there are kids of the same age in that family with you. and you do activities with your host family. And so it's basically just living with a Canadian host family for 2 weeks or 3 weeks or 4 weeks. In fact, some of our students, what they do is they come early for their academic programs and they stay with a Canadian host family for 2 or 3, 4 weeks to improve their English skills, to get used to the culture, to get used to life abroad before they start their academic program. So again, if you're looking for a program that is the best possible bang for your buck in terms of budget, this is not going to be an expensive program, and you're going to be able to stay with a Canadian host family for 1 month and get the experience that you're looking for. Once again, we have a booth, Red Leaf Summer. You can go there, chat with Now. You can go there right now, chat with Now, my colleague, and you can ask her about any one of these programs: family immersion, homestay program, overnight camps, day camps, or English camps for those who are looking to improve the have that experience for short term. The other thing is, even if you don't know if you're interested for this summer, or don't know if it's going to be possible because of COVID for this summer, or you're thinking about maybe 2022, chat with Now anyway. She'll keep in touch with you and keep you updated on the situation and how things are going. So that's it. That's the brief overview of the types of programs that are available to you should you consider studying if in Canada during a summer. I'm going to hang around. If there's any questions here, I will be happy to answer any questions that you may have. If not, I wanted to say thank you once again to Endless Abroad. You've done a good job bringing us together, even though maybe we thought we wouldn't be able to see each other over the course of the pandemic. This is a great way for us to all stay in touch, stay abreast of all of the current information and options available to students for education. So thank you very much once again, and I hope to see you in Canada sooner rather than later. Thank you.